It's Wednesday, April 8th. Today on The Hunt, Interlake farmers speak out about a growing issue, wolf attacks on livestock. What may be behind the onslaught? Also, the gift of life as Green Shirt Day brings attention to organ donation. One local man reflects on how another person's life-changing decision made all the difference. Plus, from AI to cheese, how many projects were on display as the Winnipeg School Division hosted its annual science fair? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday to you. We're halfway through the week.
Day.
Yeah, we're at Hump Day. And Ainsley McPhail is live with St. John Ambulance this morning, telling us about the importance of St. John Ambulance, the importance of knowing CPR and how to protect someone. So we're going to go through all those stages on what you should do in case you're in trouble or you find someone in trouble. And if you need more help, how you could take some programming right there at St. John Ambulance. But
invaluable information.
Absolutely.
Really.
Let's talk about the weather. It's not going to be pretty this morning.
No, we're actually waking up and finding ourselves under snow squall warning, so it could make for some really dicey travel first thing this morning and just some dicey conditions. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, it's not the temperatures, they're actually fine and pleasant out there this morning, even slightly above seasonal. We're starting out at 0 degrees. You can see your camera is already a mess. We'll see how that plays out through the day, if we're even going to be able to see what's going on, because the way that snow is going to be hitting, and it's going to be a wet snow too with these mild temperatures expected. The snow, no, not the snow, the winds whipping around that snow. They're out of the east-southeast this morning, gusting to 39 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. And yes, another big snowflake right on that camera lens. So that's what's going to be happening to your windshield this morning if you're out. And that's why I say it could be somewhat treacherous travel conditions. With that snow squall warning in place that was issued just less than an hour ago by Environment Canada, but having to do with this, how active it's looking. But you can see it is passing fairly quickly, and we're probably going to find ourselves on the other side of that with still snow falling throughout the day, but the worst of it over within the next few hours. And then kind of some, there you can see what I'm talking about, just some scattered activity through the day as that system moves a little bit further to the east and then up to the north through more of central Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, you're going to get to enjoy some sunshine today. That'll be pleasant for you. We've still got these clouds that'll be hanging around into Thursday as well. Temperatures on the rise. Today we could be getting a few degrees above the freezing mark. I mean, we're starting at 0 degrees right now, getting up to about 3 later on this afternoon. 5 for tomorrow, 8. That's a seasonal daytime high. For Friday, we could be reaching those seasonal temperatures, and it does still look like it's going to be quite mild, pleasant for the weekend, with some precipitation as we're wrapping up the weekend and a drop-off with those temperatures then on the other side.
Thank you, Terry. As the spring melt takes place across the province, a new threat for farmers is emerging. Interlake farmers say an increase in the number of wolves is posing a real threat to their cattle herds. CTV's Joseph Bernanke looks into what's driving the numbers up.
Ross McMillan has farmed Holstein dairy cows for decades now. His farm is west of Warren, Manitoba. And among rising costs due to fuel and supplies, a new threat is looming, one on 4 legs.
We've never really had wolves around, but they showed up a few years ago and nobody thought much of it. But now they started killing these beef cattle. Figured it's been 25 that they've ripped apart and killed.
McMillan says wolves have killed at least 25 cows in the area. He's heard from neighbors and seen himself that they are appearing at all hours of the day, not just at night. He says his family got a scare last fall as they prepared cattle for sale.
We come back the next morning and here's one dead, had the throat ripped right out of it. Could see one wolf track, just one track. I didn't think one wolf could pull that cow down, but it did.
Jeff McMillan farms cattle just down the road from his dad. He believes the rising deer population and habitat loss due to wildfires last year have driven the wolves southbound to the Interlake. He says the predators are wreaking financial havoc as more cows are killed.
You take them at $4,000 an animal, they've cost farmers $80,000.
McMillan says it's difficult to get compensated for losses because the agency in charge, the Manitoba Agricultural Services Corporation, needs a full carcass to process a claim.
I know one guy that I think he lost 7 or 8 and he only found 3 or 4 carcasses, so he was personally out about $16,000.
Chris Enright from Assiniboine Park Conservancy says Manitoba currently has a stable wolf population and the animal is very territorial. He says it is possible new packs could settle into the Interlake near livestock farmers should the deer populations remain strong as well.
They know where their food can be found, they know where the shelter is, but sometimes circumstances change, and this might be an example of something like that.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, near Warren, Manitoba.
This morning, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is calling a 2-week ceasefire with Iran a fragile truce.
If the Iranians are willing, in good faith, to work with us, I think we can make an agreement. If they're going to lie, if they're going to cheat, if they're going to try to prevent even the fragile truce that we've set up from taking place, then they're not going to be happy.
The U.S. and Iran agreed to the 2-week ceasefire about 90 minutes before U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline, in which he threatened a, quote, whole civilization will die tonight. President Trump said he agreed to the ceasefire on the condition that Iran agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran then put forward a 10-point proposal, saying if attacks are halted, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible. Both sides are now expected to meet in Pakistan on Friday to further negotiate the deal. We'll have to see how volatility in the oil market will affect prices at the pumps, but Prime Minister Mark Carney says the government is looking at ways to provide relief.
The question becomes, and this is what the government's focused on, is how long is this going to persist, and what can we do to help cushion the blow for Canadians, and that's something we're looking at.
The Prime Minister did not give details on what measures he has in mind or when relief could be coming. According to CAA, the average price of gas in Canada is just over $1.82 per litre. Other countries dealing with high fuel costs have measures like cutting taxes or capping prices in place right now. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has called on the Liberals to pause federal taxes on fuel. A new housing project will bring 150 new homes to St. James.
This is a powerful example, though, of economic reconciliation in action.
The City of Winnipeg, federal government, province, and Shoal Lake 40 First Nation have announced more than $51 million for the new development planned for 2675 Portage Avenue. It will see 150 apartment-style homes built on the site with a mix of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. 61 of the units will be affordable, while the rest will be made available at fair market value. The project is wholly owned by Shoal Lake 40, whose lake water is Winnipeg's water source.
We are now coming to the city's aid again with this $48 million affordable housing development, providing a cost-effective housing solution to the city's critical housing shortage.
This is Shoal Lake 40's first housing development in Winnipeg, but it has plans for more projects following its completion. The cost of the project will be shared among the 4 levels of government, with the bulk being covered by the federal government's affordable housing unit. In another funding announcement, the RM of Headingley's water reservoir and pumping station project will receive $5 million from the federal government's Build Community Strong Fund. It's expected to add water storage and pumping capacity to the existing system. This will support the development of more than 1,700 new housing units, including a proposed new subdivision. Manitobans are very familiar with snow and ice, but you might do a double take if you look at one very strange ice formation discovered in Winnipeg. Take a look. This ice formation was found north of Winnipeg on Pipeline Road by a CTV viewer. He tells us he's never seen anything like it. So, what could have caused the ice to form in this way? Well, an ice scientist at the University of Manitoba says he doesn't remember ever seeing ice like this before. However, he says what could have happened was very thin pieces of new ice formed on the pond, and then that new ice was disturbed, broke apart, and then it was all compressed against itself.
What's really interesting about this is that these sheets are so thin, they're not crumbling, and they're sticking up almost completely vertically. I would have expected, you can see if you look a little past these sails on top of the ice, there's areas where the ice has overlapped with other pieces of ice, so that's called rafting. So clearly rafting process is happening here, but it's unclear why in this particular area the pieces didn't just raft up on top of each other, but instead they got forced straight vertically.
David Babb tells CTV the wind was key, but it couldn't have been too strong or the ice would have simply broken. It's very cool, very beautiful. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic on Confusion Corner. As you can see, the snow is falling at this point. We have some highway closures to tell you about. Highway 5 from Ochre River to Grandview. Highway 10 from the north entrance Riding Mountain National Park to Pine River. Highway 20 from Ochre River to Fork River. And Highway 83 from Russell to Roblin. These closures are due to weather conditions, snowpack, and reduced visibility. If you see any problems out on the streets, please give us a shout out by sending us a text at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at St. John Ambulance this morning. Good morning, Ainsley. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. It's so good to be here. My first time at St. John Ambulance, and they've been in this building for 5 years now. And the courses that come through here, the sheer numbers, it's hard to believe. 4 different rooms circulating through these courses, over 70 people a day, which means annually over 30,000 individuals in community utilizing these life-saving services. And of course, that goes beyond Winnipeg too. We're going to be learning some practical skills because you never know when you're going to need them. When you need them, you truly need them. And we're also going to be meeting a pup, but that's all I'm going to tell you.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Yeah, it's ugly out there, Terry. It's not nice at all.
The size of these snowflakes and the rapid pace at which they're falling and then swirling. I kind of got the umbrella up holding it in the direction that the snow is coming from, but because of the wind tunnels in the downtown area, you get this swirling, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter which way you're holding that umbrella, you're going to find yourself getting wet. So this is my best attempt to try and stay dry this morning. It's 0 degrees. It's not that it's cold, but it certainly does look like winter out here. The winds out of the east-southeast now 30 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. Now, I don't think this is going to be a full-day event. This, looking as nasty as it is, likely to be a couple of hours through the morning hours, through the rush hour, unfortunately, for those of you that have places to be and get to today. But then later on this afternoon, we should notice those winds easing a little bit and even the snow tapering somewhat, although for the time being, it is rapidly accumulating. I'm looking at a few centimeters out here already, and this is just from like last night, and really the bulk of it over the last hour. So this is why we're hearing of those highway closures, how quickly conditions can change. This is going to be, like I said, for the next few hours, tapering later today. Eventually, we'll see big improvements, especially later this week with the sunshine and some much warmer temperatures. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning. Tuesday marked another Green Shirt Day, named in honor of Humboldt Broncos Logan Boulay. His organs were donated after the horrific bus crash in 2018. His gift of life saved 6 people and brought attention to organ donation nationwide. And as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, one Headingley man is sharing his story after a double lung donation gave him a second chance at life.
Riding a bike without an oxygen tank is something Paul Mayer could not have thought of. Now it's a reality.
It was 7:22 a.m., the point you'll never forget, and you get that phone call, and it was an absolute shock. Oh my.
In January 2025, Mayer got what he called that precious gift of life. 8 years ago, he was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis, a terminal disease with no cure. He would die without a lung transplant.
I was fortunate enough that it did happen for me, unlike some others that I know that it didn't. They never got that call.
April 7th is Green Shirt Day, remembering Humboldt Broncos Logan Boulay. He passed away after a deadly crash on April 6, 2018, killed 15 others and injured 13. Boulay's parents, Toby and Bernadine, approved the donation of Logan's organs that saved 6 lives.
By being able to donate has made an impact on so many, and to want them to be registered donors and for them to have conversations. So it makes me really proud.
In many conditions, organ transplant is the only full cure, like kidney disease. It is either dialysis or a new kidney.
Kidneys are one of those organs where they can come from a deceased donor, but many people are living kidney donors, and people can live healthy, full lives and donate a kidney, and many do.
After the transplant, Mayer takes around 40 medications and vitamins, checks his vitals, and writes it down every day. But he says it is such a minor thing because, thanks to his donor, he was reborn.
It's the bravest thing you can do in your life. It's incredible. You've got that ability as like a doctor to change someone's life, and you have that ability within yourself.
Anyone who wishes to register for organ donation can head on to signupforlife.ca and register with their name, date of birth, and 9-digit health card number. Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The City of Winnipeg's ground squirrel management program got underway Tuesday, but not before a handful of advocacy groups issued a last-minute appeal, hoping to prevent a pair of controversial pest control products from being used. At issue are two products, Rosol poison bait and Rokon, a type of asphyxiant which is sprayed into holes. Animal Justice, the Winnipeg Humane Society, and University of Manitoba biology professor James Hare are appealing directly to the Environment Minister. They're asking him to suspend and ultimately revoke the permit the province issued, allowing the city to use them. The groups say the products can cause prolonged suffering, particularly Rosol, which causes internal bleeding, and the risk of the poison entering the food chain is too great. Hare, the professor, says he believes control is necessary and it should be happening, but he believes live trapping is a better course of action.
I do think it's highly feasible in the sense that they could be live trapped very readily with the same sort of staff you have employed, in dispersing these, rodenticides at the various sites. You could live trap them, you could transport them to a central location, have a veterinarian euthanize them as they're transported.
In a statement, a provincial spokesperson says, quote, both Rosol and Rokon are registered by Health Canada, which means they have undergone rigorous scientific evaluation to ensure they do not pose unacceptable risks when used as directed. Barring any successful appeals, the city will be using the products at the 9 parks listed on your screen. Signage will be posted 24 hours before and after treatment, and the sites will be monitored to make sure only ground squirrels are affected and their carcasses are removed quickly. It adds the 2 products have only been approved for this season, and an advisory committee is being formed to figure out what to do in the future. The CUSMA review deadline is now fast approaching, and a U.S. trade representative says at this point it's unlikely that deadline will be met.
We want to resolve as much as we can. We've worked really closely with the Mexicans over the past year. They've resolved a lot of issues. The Canadians, we have some issues with them that haven't been resolved yet.
Jameson Greer says the U.S. administration most likely won't hash out all of its trade issues with Canada and Mexico by July the 1st. He does say he's optimistic they'll be resolved as soon as possible, though. Sticking points with Canada include liquor, supply management, Buy Canadian policies, and the Online Streaming Act. July 1st is the date the U.S. needs to inform Canada and Mexico whether it wants to reopen the deal for a full renegotiation. Can a bird catch a cold? Well, this raven is making a pretty convincing case. Yes, that loud sneezing sound is coming from that raven. Huxley the raven, however, isn't actually sneezing. He's just mimicking the sound from one of the people working at a crow rescue society in Prince George. Not only can he make sneezing sounds, he can also say his own name. Bless him. Here's some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, all northbound lanes on Kennedy Street will be closed between Sargent and Cumberland Avenue. The eastbound curb lane on Corden will be closed from Waverly to Oxford Street, and the westbound curb lane on Coburg Street will be closed between Henderson and Beatrice. If you see any issues out on the streets, please send us a text.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
That raven sounded like my son when I called him yesterday morning after checking his location and noticing that he wasn't in class. Achoo! Oh, Ma! Good one. All right, we're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Honestly, if there was a day to play that card, oh, I don't feel well, maybe today is the day. Do you know what? In fact, I'm sure we're going to be hearing about buses. Listen, I'm not the one to make that call, but the conditions out there, they're pretty ugly. Quickly accumulating snow and near zero visibility with that snow coming at you sideways on some very strong winds. Temperature-wise, it's actually quite pleasant, but often when we're hovering around the freezing mark is when things can be most slick too. So just keep that in mind. Travel might not be ideal. It's certainly not ideal. Anyway, 0 degrees is where we're sitting right now in Winnipeg, -1 over in Brandon. We've got +1 right now in the Morden Winkler area. Everybody is looking at some very mild temperatures through southern Manitoba when you compare it to a seasonal low of -3. Even northern Manitoba Manitoba, just into those minus teens, low minus teens for the most part, or Churchill a little bit colder yet at minus 23. Feeling like minus 32 up in Churchill, but for most of us, even though those winds are intense because the temperatures are so mild, the wind chill isn't really extreme by any means. It's the conditions that are seeming pretty extreme right now. This squall moment that we're experiencing with the, like I said, rapidly accumulating snow, near zero visibility, very strong winds. That's obviously, you can see the pace that it's pushing on to the east. So anyone further east yet still has it to come. But in areas off to the west of it is already pretty much passed on by. Not that there won't still be some snow today. We might have kind of a clearish moment after that squall passes, but then still the possibility of some flurry or rain mixed in there with these temperatures that we're expecting. The warm-up will continue throughout the rest of the week and even some more so into the weekend. But there is more precipitation waiting for us, more likely in liquid form, as we're looking toward the end of the weekend and into the start of next week. This little guy caught in all of that snow out in the Steep Rock area, snapped by Shelley. Thanks for sharing this photo with us, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. Get ready to celebrate your child's next birthday with a Your Morning Winnipeg contest. This week, we are giving away a kid's birthday party valued at $300 from Crockadoodle on Kenaston location. You can invite up to 8 guests to party and paint your own pottery. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword HAPPY. Good luck. An actor from Scarborough is stepping into the shoes of Canada's most infamous sprinter. As CTV's Andrea Case reports, Hate the Player, the Ben Johnson story, takes a surprising new look at the race that changed the sport forever.
Number 6 from Canada, the number 1 of all time, world champion, world record holder, Ben Johnson.
There have been countless news stories, articles, and films like this one called 9.79, which chronicled the 100-meter final at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, Korea. If you weren't around at the time, Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson stunned his competitors and the world with a blistering world record pace of 9.79 seconds. 3 days later, a stunning announcement.
I've just been handed a piece of paper here that if it's right, it'll be the most dramatic story out of these Olympics or perhaps any others.
Johnson tested positive for steroids and was stripped of his gold medal. It was serious business. This isn't.
That wasn't so bad.
Shot last year in Toronto, a new series called Hate the Player, the Ben Johnson story, is a much different take. With Johnson's blessing, this is a campy, satirical version. Wearing the spikes is actor Shamir Anderson.
The story needs to be told because people need to know the truth and his version. This is a man that was vilified. This was a man that was the scapegoat. And I think our story is so important because not only does it shed a light on this man's history, but we do it in a very funny way. It's a comedy.
We're used to seeing Anderson in action roles like a mysterious assassin in John Wick 4, but here he gets to exercise his comedic chops, a return to his roots of sorts. He started out in theater and sketch comedy.
Every single country had a drug program.
Comedy he was familiar with, sprinting not so much.
I'm not a sprinter, but I did a lot of training and worked with a lot of people to really help me get to that place. But I'm an actor through and through, and I had to do a lot of gymming, a lot of running, and a lot of non-jerk chickening, so no eating jerk chicken.
So you made a sacrifice for this film?
I made a major sacrifice, and I didn't have much time to do it.
Ben Johnson will pay.
CTV News caught up with Anderson at the Toronto Film Critics Awards.
It was very important to me to get it right, because I'm Jamaican descent. Ben's Jamaican from Scarborough, and I did a lot of work, and my mother actually helped me a lot with the dialect, the culture, and she's literally my acting coach, which is crazy to say, but she helped me out.
Hate the Player, the Ben Johnson story is available now on Paramount+. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Doesn't look like much outside, does it? Well, it looks like winter, I suppose. 0 degrees, -7 is what it feels like once you're factoring in that 30K wind out of the east-southeast. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 96%, and visibility is poor this morning, not to mention the pace at which the snow is stacking up on streets, sidewalks, you name it. And when temperatures hover near the freezing mark, as they are right now, that's when things tend to be the most slick. So please use a lot of caution out there. This is a fast passing system. You can see the pace at which it's moving through southeastern Manitoba right now. So it will only be a matter of hours before it's kind of off to the east, and the worst of it will have moved on. But it doesn't mean we won't still see some flurry activity off and on throughout the day today. We may, in the lighter snow moments, see a few pockets of sunshine here or there. That would be nice. 3 degrees is where we're headed today, which is warmer than it's been. Still nowhere near seasonal, though. 8 degrees would be a normal daytime high. Now, temperature will be dropping off likely tonight down to about -4. Winds increasing. Now, those winds this morning are strong, but should taper off this afternoon, only to increase as they're shifting out of the northwest for later into the evening and then continuing overnight. Tomorrow, winds should be easing again and milder temperatures, less snow, and lots of things to improve on for tomorrow. And it is starting to look better, but Friday is looking the best yet. And then the weekend, even better yet. So great improvements as we continue on over the next few days, pushing us above seasonal for the weekend itself. However, we could be seeing some more precipitation Sunday, lingering into Monday, and you will then notice those temperatures dropping off again for the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Some residents of a posh Toronto neighborhood are fighting back against crime after a series of break-ins. People living there have decided to hire private security to watch their neighborhood. As CTV's Janice Golding shows you, they're fed up and taking matters into their own hands.
Rosedale Moore Park boasts some of the most luxurious homes in Canada, homes that are increasingly being targeted by thieves.
I've had 4 cars stolen and 2 home invasions. There's been so many problems of break-ins.
In fact, according to Toronto Police data, there were 63 break-ins in the area in 2024 and 82 last year. That represents a significant jump, more than 30%.
In recent months, there has been a huge drive to organize private security.
And that's why Janice Lowe, president of the South Rosedale Residents Association, says some area residents, along with inhabitants of other affluent neighborhoods in the city, are paying for private security. For between $170 and $200 a month, security guards and vehicles patrol the streets, keeping an eye on clients' properties and noting suspicious activity, with agents ready to respond to break-ins within minutes.
There are door-knocking campaigns. There are also endorsements by the Residents Association. But every home has their own individual choice whether they would like to participate or not.
Opting into the patrol programs is optional with mixed reviews, although the Residents Association says participation is increasing weekly.
There's just not enough police. That's the problem, and there's too much crime.
I do like the idea. I think that maybe it'll be a deterrent for people that are trying to intimidate, break in.
We were approached and we decided against it. We didn't want to live in a place that was that cordoned off.
Meanwhile, many residents are beefing up security measures on their property, installing hammer-proof glass, stronger locking mechanisms, and alarm systems.
We're securityed up.
And you still feel nervous?
Yes, of course.
My husband and I have an alarm system. We make sure that the outdoor lights are on all night long.
Doing what they can to keep their families safe while calling on governments to introduce longer-term solutions like harsher sentencing and bail reform. Janice Golding, CTV News.
Cheese coagulation, artificial intelligence, and drone aerodynamics. Those are just some of the topics that took center stage at a day of discovery in the Winnipeg School Division.
So this is a standard 3D printed wing compared to
The 56th annual Winnipeg School Science Fair gives the division's grades 7 to 12 students a chance to wow the judges with their work. It's one of the biggest science fairs held by the division to date. More than 153 projects highlighted research in a range of fields, including health, environment, technology, and Indigenous knowledge.
I think they're seeing things that are happening exciting in our world, and they want to know more about those things. They have wonders, curiosities, and questions that they want answered, and they want to find those answers so that we can support all mankind.
Cash prizes and a new Community Changemaker Award Scholarship were handed out Tuesday night. The best projects will move on to the Canada-wide Science Fair being held in Edmonton next month. The Winnipeg Jets had more than one reason to celebrate during Monday's 6-2 win over Seattle.
Deeper in the zone, Scheifele. Counter. It deflects in. It'll be 900 points for Mark Scheifele and a power play goal.
Veteran center Mark Scheifele notched his 900th career NHL point, and it came as one might expect, setting up his longtime line mate Kyle Connor. The pair would connect again in the third period for Connor's second goal and Scheifele's third assist of the game.
It means a lot. It's, obviously, very honored and humbled by it. So, it's pretty cool to think about. It'll probably take a little bit to sink in, but obviously it's, very cool.
He's determined, he's driven, and, he wants to have, team success. And then with the team success comes individual success. And that partnership with KC certainly helps that. But he's a guy that I think you see a lot of guys in the league that are older that are still real good players. And that's because they're such good athletes now is probably the biggest thing.
33-year-old Scheifele has spent his entire career in Winnipeg after becoming the first ever draft pick by the Jets 2.0, selected 7th overall in the 2011 NHL draft. He already has the most points in franchise history and is also the leader in games played at 956. Scheifele and the Jets are back in action tomorrow night in St. Louis. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Congrats to him. Here's a look now at what's going on at Portage at Polo Park. That snow is continuing to fall. It's going to make for slippery conditions on the roads this morning. We have some highway closures to tell you about as well. Highway 5 from Ochre River to Grandview. Highway 10 from the north entrance Riding Mountain National Park to Pine River. Highway 20 from Ochre River to Fork River. And Highway 83 from Russell to Roblin. These closures are due to the weather conditions, snowpack, and reduced visibility. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please send us a text when it's safe and legal to do so. Here's a look at your gas prices now. The Canadian average is $1.84. The provincial average is $1.70. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly lower at $1.69. And the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, we're live at St. John Ambulance. We're going to find out about this little furball and his important role there. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
So I was last out here on the roof about 20 minutes ago, and the way my footprints from the last time that I was out had completely disappeared. This snow is coming down quickly, accumulating rapidly. It's very fluffy snow, but we're looking at it, I'm going to say 4 centimeters that's piled up on my railings at least now. And the way it's been blowing around too is probably a little bit tough to tell how much, in fact. It's not that it's cold, it's just that it is snowy, and while the flakes have shrunk somewhat from where they were before, it's still the pace at which it's coming down. 0 degrees, feels like -7 with a 30k wind out of the east-southeast, the pressure falling and the humidity at 96%. And the buildings about a block away, very much obscured. Visibility is poor this morning as we're still in this kind of snow squall moment with warnings that have been issued through much of southern Manitoba regarding the snow squall and the poor visibility, the rapidly accumulating snow, and perhaps at times treacherous travel conditions. Now, it is likely to be just a passing moment through the morning hours, worse through the next hour or so. And then while we might still see some snow into the afternoon, it should have eased considerably, and the winds will have eased as well. An improvement with the conditions, but this morning, expect more of this. We've got Ainsley McPhail back and on location this morning. Let's check in and see where she's at and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, Terry. Good morning. It's an organization that can be traced back internationally about 1,000 years, and it's got a fantastic building that we haven't been in yet. It's been here for 5 years, but we haven't been in yet. The CEO is joining me now, Brent Fowler. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. My pleasure.
What goes on in this building?
So this is our training and community services center. So we run first aid courses here 7 days a week throughout the entire year. And our volunteers, we have over 500 volunteers that work in Manitoba, and the Winnipeg crew is based out of this this building. So our medical first responders and our therapy dog teams all work out of this building and go out in the community and do their volunteer work.
And at its core, life-saving initiatives. What does that look like?
Well, that's right. At the end of the day, we all need to know how to save someone's life, whether it's a family member, a person at work, a friend. It will happen sooner or later. You'll come across someone in distress. So we offer different levels of training, primarily a 1-day and a 2-day first aid course. And we really do encourage everyone to take the training, learn how to save a life.
Workplaces are part of that. Babysitting courses, too. We're really running the gamut when it comes to ages and backgrounds. Any other recommendations?
Well, you mentioned workplaces, and that's a great point. You know, provincial legislation requires most workplaces to have trained first aiders. So we certainly encourage every workplace to, to follow their legal responsibilities, but also their moral responsibilities to keep everyone safe at work. No one wants to get injured at work. We want everyone to go home safe and sound, and knowing first aid can go a long way to accomplishing that.
When you have a resume that spans hundreds of years, there's lots of positive stories behind it as well. Is there anything top of mind?
You know, it's amazing how many times we hear from students who have taken a first aid course at some point in their life and then saved someone's life. I can think of one case where it was the very next day where they saved their roommate's life. I can also think of cases, though, where it was years and years later, and maybe they didn't remember every single thing they learned, but it's amazing to know, to see just how much they learned and how they gave a person a chance at life.
There's absolutely nothing better than that. Thank you so much for this chat. Coming up at 7:28, we're going to be learning a CPR demonstration. Don't go anywhere.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 1,211 points higher. The Nasdaq rose 826 points. The S&P index is 175 points up. The loonie had some gains, set to 72.10 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng climbed 776 points, and the Nikkei boosted 2,878 points. Good morning. It is 6:47. Poor road and driving conditions are prompting some school schedule disruptions this morning. The Evergreen School Division reports no buses are running and all schools are closed. In the Lord Selkirk Division, no buses are running and schools are closed. The Interlake Division has closed all its schools. The Sunrise Division has canceled all buses and closed schools today. And the Red River Valley Division has closed all its schools, and schools are closed also in the Prairie Rose Division. Poor driving conditions are causing some road closures in western Manitoba this morning, according to Manitoba 511. Highway 5 from Ochre River to Grandview has been closed. Highway 10 is closed from the north entrance to Riding Mountain National Park to Pine River. And Highway 20 is closed from Ochre River to Fork River. The province reminds you that closure gates and or variable message signs may not be present at closure locations. The province of Manitoba has updated its flood outlook, and it now shows an increased risk of flood in the Interlake. Manitoba's Hydrologic Forecast Center shows an elevated flood risk, particularly in the Fisher River Basin. Officials say the heightened risk is due to significantly above normal snowpack, a delayed spring melt, and an increased likelihood of rapid spring runoff. The province says the snow water equivalent in the area is already among the highest observed in recent years, and snow forecast to hit over the coming days could increase the amounts to nearly double the long-term average. The province says under unfavorable weather conditions, flows could approach levels seen during the 2022 flood. A Canadian Armed Forces commander in Latvia has been temporarily removed from his post after being charged under the military justice system. In a statement, the head of Canadian Joint Operations Command says Colonel James Smith has been relieved of his duties as commander of Task Force Latvia while the case goes forward. The charges stem from alleged irregularities surrounding compensation and benefits. Smith will be assigned to other duties until the investigation is complete. Troops deployed to Latvia are part of Canada's largest overseas mission. Billionaire Bill Gates is set to testify on June 10th before a congressional committee investigating the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. That's according to a source close to the matter. The Microsoft co-founder is reportedly welcoming the opportunity to appear before the committee, saying he made a, quote, huge mistake in associating with Epstein, but denies any involvement with victims. Gates is among the prominent names appearing in documents released by the U.S. Justice Department that revealed friendships, illicit financial dealings, and private photos with Epstein. An international headline describing Newfoundland as a freezing Canadian island is raising more than a few eyebrows in the province.
I don't hear anybody badmouthing Newfoundland. You know, you don't get stranded here. You can't get stranded in the best province in the country, as far as I'm concerned.
Both the BBC and People magazine published similar headlines about a stranded British Airways flight, calling Newfoundland a freezing Canadian island. The description isn't sitting right with many people in the province, especially since it's famous for bringing people in when flights are grounded. The musical Come From Away is about the grounded flights after the 9/11 attacks and helped catapult central Newfoundland to Broadway fame. The flight from London was grounded for 2 days in St. John's, first for a medical emergency and then for a temporary technical issue. Newfoundland's tourism minister, Andrea Barbour, wrote to People magazine saying, "It may be cold here, but it doesn't define us or make us our home any less warm to visitors." You tell them. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush. All northbound lanes on Kennedy Street will be closed between Sargent and Cumberland Avenue. The eastbound curb lane on Corden will be closed from Waverly to Oxford Street. And the westbound curb lane on Coburg Street will be closed between Henderson and Beatrice. If you see any other traffic issues out there, please let us know.
Just like the snow doesn't define us here in Winnipeg, we are the warmest bunch. Mother Nature just likes to give us a little something to do our Care Bear stare against, I guess. These conditions this morning, far from ideal. We are dealing with this, well, no, I was going to say zero visibility, reduced visibility. It was worse earlier this morning. I think it's improved considerably from where it was, say, 30 minutes ago. 0 degrees right now, -7 is what it feels like when you're factoring in that 30K wind out of the east-southeast. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. And yeah, not ideal this morning, especially where are we at? April 8th now. Here you can see on the satellite image just how active things still are through the southeastern part of the province and into northwestern Ontario. This will all be pushing a little bit more into central Manitoba. You can see there's not a lot of activity behind this system, and we're going to find ourselves in that kind of calmer moment later today. Although speaking of calm, look at northern Manitoba. That's where things are perhaps going to be the most pleasant today. Again, could be pushing up into the plus digits for some. Even Churchill, -2 today. Round of applause for Churchill. You deserve that after dealing. Thank you, right? It's been so cold in Churchill. Beautiful day today. Plus digits through most of northern Manitoba. Very pleasant with some sunshine to enjoy. And then, yes, we're dealing with the heavier clouds, the snow, the winds, all of it here throughout southern Manitoba. And we will throughout the day, even though, like I say, the worst of it will probably pass in the next hour, but still behind it the possibility of some scattered flurries throughout the day today, or maybe some showers. The temperatures will be on the milder side, getting above the freezing mark today. That's a nice improvement over where we've been, but the biggest improvements are still to come, up to 5 degrees tomorrow. Seasonal 8 degrees by Friday, and from there we could experience for the first time in a very long time above normal temperatures just in time for the coming weekend.
Well, it's time to check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. I see Bo is ready for the storm.
You know what, Rochelle? This is what we call spring attire in Winnipeg.
Absolutely.
Yes, I am ready. I'm fed up, but I'm ready. My God, is it ever going to end? I remember 1997. Of course, we had the big storm April 5th, but we're past that now. I'm done with the snow. How about you?
Oh, I'm so sick and tired of it. And driving through this in the morning, leaving at 3:30 in the morning, often it's me making tracks on the highway for the first time. And so I am done with this season. But it's supposed to be done. We're officially in spring, so it could just go away already. How about you, Gabby?
Yeah, Bo has been complaining about winter for, I feel like, the past month, and I'm with him. I'm ready for some warm weather. I actually wore a spring-like shirt. At least one of us is dressed for the conditions. This is a classic Bo and Gabby moment. But Bo finally washed his car. I have not washed my car all winter, Rochelle. I refuse to do it because it always warms up as soon as I wash it. He just washed his, and he was disappointed. We pulled up this morning. He screamed at me out the window in the parking lot, "My car!" with the weather.
I know. It just took so long to get clean. I know how much you like spring as well, Rochelle. We talked about this weeks ago. When it be, you know, all the things we had planned to do on the patio, this and that, and here we are. So there is some hope, I hope.
Yes, well,
weather.
the forecast looks like it's getting better. Yeah, Terry says it's going to get better and it's going to warm up. We just got to get through these last few days. But yeah, I'm done. I'm officially done too. Thanks, you guys.
Bo, you might have to lend me that hat. I think it's going to fit over my ponytail real well.
I kind of like the bangs on me. I could get used to this.
Looks good. Take care, you guys. A BC woman who drives a car inspired by a cow saved a squirrel on the side of the road in a story that takes a wild turn. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
If you take a look at this dashcam video, the first thing you may notice are the horns on Emily Rose's hood.
It's all about the smiles for miles.
But if you look closer, you'll see a squirrel that was struck by another car.
And I didn't know if it was quite alive or dead.
So Emily pulled over and ran to its rescue.
Its tail was moving slightly.
So she swaddled the squirrel, returned to the car, and began reassuring it.
A calm voice telling it that it would be okay and that I was taking it to get help.
Emily says she has a habit of helping that includes stopping to help this car from being demolished in a junkyard.
He said if I liked it, it was $50 and it was my problem, and it's been my problem since.
And her solution for fixing this sort of vehicle that car folks dub Mopars included decorating it in such a way that it's now nicknamed Moopar.
And I love cows.
While she loves creating cow art, Emily says she's loved doing the major mechanical work on this daily driver even more.
I've put every bit of my heart and soul into that car.
And anytime she can, from volunteering to drive community members to rescuing other injured animals, she'll use Moopar to help.
Look around you, see what can be done, and do it.
Which brings us back to when Emily was driving that squirrel to the Wild Animal Rehabilitation Center.
It decided it had other plans. It totally sprung to life like nothing had happened at all.
So Emily stopped the car, and the squirrel, who she now suspects had been in shock, started moving around Moopar effortlessly.
And then it catapulted itself right above my head in between the window.
And ran into the safety of a nearby bush, where Emily hopes the squirrel will tell his friends about his near-death experience.
He'll probably say what a wild ride it was in that orange car.
That car named after a cow, driven by a woman who, instead of moving forward, was motivated to turn around and help.
It's moverless.
Utterly moverless. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Soup.
It's Wednesday, April 8th. Today, wolf threat rising. Why Interlake farmers say wolves are killing cattle and hitting herds hard. Plus, new homes coming. A 150-unit project in St. James brings affordable and market housing. And moon mission home. Canadian Jeremy Hansen returns after an historic lunar flyby. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. And coming up at 7:52, we're going to introduce you to author Erna Buffy. She's just written a book. It's called Out on a Limb, and it's about the tree canopies in our city. Of course, Winnipeg has a gorgeous canopy. We have millions of trees in the city, which is just fascinating. A lot of them, though, are sick and dying, and so there's an importance, sort of an alarm bell on why it's important to preserve those trees, what we should do to keep those canopies thriving and healthy. So we're going to find out more about that and the importance to Mother Nature to keep those trees going.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we all like the neighborhoods that have the big, beautiful trees.
Gorgeous.
So,
right now, those trees are covered with snow, though.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, they are. Everything is covered with snow this morning. As you take a look outside, look how white, a whole little blanket of the fresh stuff out there. And it was rapidly accumulating earlier on. The pace and the size of the flakes is reducing somewhat, but still, it's coming down, and you can see the reduced visibility as a result. 0 degrees right now, feels like -7 if you're factoring in the winds, which have increased now to 33 kilometers per hour out of the southeast. The pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 97%. Yes, those winds have only been getting stronger over the course of the morning, and the snow, there you can see it passing through. We're kind of getting to the edge of that system now here in Winnipeg. As it continues on to the east, it'll continue to wreak havoc further to the east, but then also pushing into parts of more central Manitoba. It's tapered off for now through parts of the southwest. We'll notice that experience as well, but it doesn't mean that we won't be seeing more flurries throughout the day. It just means the worst of it will have passed. You'll kind of watch how the system does a little bit of a wraparound, so still we'll find ourselves with some scattered snow off and on throughout the day today, and then eventually tapering off maybe by overnight or tomorrow. For northern Manitoba, it's going to be a beautiful day for you. Enjoy some sunshine and some plus-digit temperatures. We too will likely get up into the plus digits today, and then even warmer for tomorrow, even warmer by the end of the week. We are noticing a nice trend with the mercury on the rise, but the conditions this morning, it's all looking like straight up winter again. So the snow will continue off and on through the day, maybe even overnight. Heavier clouds still expected for tomorrow, maybe starting to get some breaks in those clouds, a little more sunshine by Friday. That's when it really gets a bit warmer to seasonal temperatures for the first time in a long time, and even warmer yet for the coming weekend. And our art today is all thanks to a couple of grades, or a few grades 2 students at Ralph Maybank School. Thank you, Lean, Asha, and Aisha. And keep the art coming. We'd love to see more of it. Draw those pictures, send them to us now through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. When you enter your art, you're also entering for a contest to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
Poor travel conditions are also forcing closures in the Division Scolaire Franco-Manitobaine this morning. All of the following day SFM schools are closed today. École Gabriel Roy, École Aurel Lemoine, École Jour de Plaine, École Saint-Georges, École La Gimaudière, École Pointe-des-Chênes, École Saint-Jean-Baptiste, École Sainte-Agathe, École Saint-Joachim, and École Réal Bérard. The Winnipeg Police Service is asking for your help to locate a missing 17-year-old female. Police say Skyla Nolan was last seen on Thursday, April 2nd in the 900 block of Magnus Avenue. Nolan is 5 feet 3 inches tall, 170 pounds with a muscular build, brown hair and brown eyes. Nolan was last seen wearing a red and black zip-up hoodie as seen in this photo. Nolan may be in the company of a 49-year-old male known as Adam Wildman. Police are concerned for Nolan's well-being. If you have any information with regard to their whereabouts, you're asked to call the WPS Missing Persons line at 204-986-6250. As the spring melt takes place across the province, a new threat for farmers is emerging. Interlake farmers say an increase in the number of wolves is posing a real threat to their cattle herds. CTV's Joseph Bernacki looks into what's driving the numbers up.
Ross McMillan has farmed Holstein dairy cows for decades now. His farm is west of Warren, Manitoba. And among rising costs due to fuel and supplies, a new threat is looming. One on 4 legs.
We've never really had wolves around, but they showed up a few years ago and nobody thought much of it. But now they started killing these beef cattle. Figured it's been 25 that they've ripped apart and killed.
McMillan says wolves have killed at least 25 cows in the area. He's heard from neighbors and seen himself that they are appearing at all hours of the day, not just at night. He says his family got a scare last fall as they prepared cattle for sale.
We come back the next morning and here's one dead, had the throat ripped right out of it. Could see one wolf track, just one track. I didn't think one wolf could pull that cow down, but it did.
Jeff McMillan farms cattle just down the road from his dad. He believes the rising deer population and habitat loss due to wildfires last year have driven the wolves southbound to the Interlake. He says the predators are wreaking financial havoc as more cows are killed.
You take them at $4,000 an animal, they've cost farmers $80,000.
McMillan says it's difficult to get compensated for losses because the agency in charge, the Manitoba Agricultural Services Corporation, needs a full carcass to process a claim.
I know one guy that I think he lost 7 or 8 and he only found 3 or 4 carcasses, so he was personally out about $16,000.
Chris Enright from Assiniboine Park Conservancy says Manitoba currently has a stable wolf population and the animal is very territorial. He says it is possible new packs could settle into the Interlake near livestock farmers should the deer populations remain strong as well.
They know where their food can be found, they know where the shelter is, but sometimes circumstances change, and this might be an example of something like that.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, near Warren, Manitoba.
After traveling deeper into space than any humans before, the Artemis II astronauts are headed home, wrapping up a cruise that revealed unseen views from the far side of the moon.
Emotionally, a lot of us have connected with the images of Earth, with the images from during the eclipse, with the images from the vehicle cameras taking pictures of the moon during the eclipse period. And while they are inspirational and I think allow all of us to, really feel a little bit of what they were feeling, there's also a lot of science hidden, inside of those images.
The crew that includes Canadian Jeremy Hansen captured and sent back these stunning images taken during their historic lunar flyby. The Orion space capsule is now out of the moon's sphere of influence and returning to Earth's gravitational pull. The 4 astronauts are expected to splash down off the coast of San Diego on Friday evening. A U.S. Navy warship has been deployed to recover the crew. A new housing project will bring 150 new homes to St. James.
This is a powerful example, though, of economic reconciliation in action.
The City of Winnipeg, federal government, province, and Shoal Lake 40 First Nation have announced more than $51 million for the new development planned for 2675 Portage Avenue. It will see 150 apartment-style homes built on the site with a mix of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. 61 of the units will be affordable, while the rest will be made available at fair market value. The project is wholly owned by Shoal Lake 40, whose lake water is Winnipeg's water source.
We are now coming to the city's aid again with this $48 million affordable housing development, providing a cost-effective housing solution to the city's critical housing shortage.
This is Shoal Lake 40's first housing development in Winnipeg, but it has plans for more projects following its completion. The cost of the project will be shared among the 4 levels of government, with the bulk being covered by the federal government's Affordable Housing Fund. In another funding announcement, the RM of Headingley's Water Reservoir and Pumping Station project will receive $5 million from the federal government's Build Community Strong Fund. It's expected to add water storage and pumping capacity to the existing system. This will support the development of more than 1,700 new housing units, including a proposed new subdivision. Here's a look now at the current traffic situation along McPhillip Street. Looks like things are moving well here. The streets might be a little bit slippery in some parts due to that new snow that has fallen. If you see any issues out there, send us a text, please.
Oil and gas prices are plummeting after the U.S. and Iran agreed to a 2-week ceasefire aimed at halting the American-Israeli military campaign in exchange for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Brent fell as much as 16% before trading around $95 a barrel. European natural gas futures posted their biggest decline in more than 2 years, shedding up to 20%. Prices of refined fuel, such as diesel and jet fuel, which had been the biggest threats to global inflation, also tumbled. And 2 ships have passed through the Strait of Hormuz since the agreement to reopen the waterway, all part of the ceasefire deal. The Marine Traffic Monitoring Group is the one reporting that. Now, during the 2-week ceasefire, passage through the strait will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces, according to Iran's foreign minister. Unless Iran peace talks progress rapidly, higher fertilizer prices may lower crop yields and fuel food inflation. The Bloomberg Agricultural Subindex gained 4% this year on concern over how farmers will respond to higher costs in the Northern Hemisphere planting season. It retreated less than 1% on news of the 2-week ceasefire. The last such commodity shock in 2022 stoked inflation for more than a year. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail at St. John Ambulance. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, Rochelle. Good morning. It's very good to be back here at St. John Ambulance. We're going to be chatting with someone coming up at 7:27 who's been teaching CPR and first aid for over 30 years now. So we've turned to the experts, of course, here at St. John, and we're going to be doing a training module. Many workplaces are required to do this, but they're encouraging people from all over, all ages and backgrounds to get started with these life-saving techniques. We're also going to be chatting with a trained therapy dog. Now, that's different from the other dogs who are trained for folks with disabilities. These training dogs go into places like HSC, and this pup is a very good boy. Stay with us for that at 7:42.
Thank you, Ainsley. All right, let's go out to the rooftop now where Terry is. And that snow, is it continuing to fall or is it not so bad?
Yeah, it is. It's certainly finer. Now it's almost into that, like, can you hear on my umbrella? I think I've buried my mic. I don't think you will hear on my umbrella. It's going to be like almost in that freezing rain space now. Oh, and I'll step back. Which way do I need to step back? This way. So you can see, look at that. Look how much snow. Yeah, for those of you who have been protesting, deciding not to shovel, you might change your mind about that. Your post person will appreciate you changing your... Do we still deliver post? I don't even know anymore. Yes, they do, of course. Anyway, delivery people will appreciate you making a little bit of effort to clear a path for them because, yeah, certainly we're noticing the accumulation of what happened just in those past couple of hours now. It's still mild, 0 degrees. East-southeast winds are 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity at 96%. Now, it was the big fat flakes earlier on this morning, and now, like I said, it's kind of a fine freezing rain almost, and I'm seeing some real fog now developing in the downtown area, whereas before, when I was out here last, the reduced visibility was all due to the snow and the swirling snow, whereas now a very dense looking fog is rolling in, so that will still affect the visibility this morning. And traction will be affected not just from all of this snow that is accumulated, but with the temperatures hovering around the freezing point, which is when things tend to be the most slick. So there will be nothing fun about your drive into work this morning. For pedestrians too, I wore my winter boots. My boats. You're going to need some boats once this all melts. I'm telling you that. Oh my goodness. What a mess we're going to be in for the next couple of days. But warmer temperatures to come above the freezing mark today, but a real warm up with seasonal temperatures by Friday.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for a question of the day. Today is National Empanada Day, so we want to know what's your favorite foreign food. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Good morning. Poor road and driving conditions are prompting some school schedule disruptions this morning. The Evergreen School Division reports no buses are running and all schools are closed. In the Lord Selkirk Division, no buses are running and schools are closed there too. The Interlake Division has closed all its schools. The Sunrise Division has canceled all buses and closed schools today. The Red River Valley Division has closed all its schools. Also this morning, the Prairie Rose Division has closed all schools. The Hanover School Division has closed all its schools, and the Seine River Division reports no buses and no in-person learning today. Poor driving conditions are causing some road closures in western Manitoba this morning. According to Manitoba 511, Highway 5 from Ochre River to Grandview has been closed. Highway 10 is closed from the north entrance to Riding Mountain National Park to Pine River, and Highway 20 is closed from Ochre River to Fork River. The province reminds you that closure gates and or variable message signs may not be present at closure locations. Conservation officers are asking for your help finding those responsible for the illegal killing of a mother black bear last month. It happened on Road 6 East, just north of Balmoral, which is about 12 kilometers north of Stonewall, between Road 86 North and Road 87 North. It's believed the bear was shot sometime between the evening of March 30th and early afternoon the following day. The killing left 3 young cubs orphaned. They've now been turned over to the Black Bear Rescue in Stonewall. Owner Judy Stearns says the 10-week-old cubs, 2 females and a male, are frightened and struggling to adjust.
It's still very hard on them. Like, little bear cubs shouldn't be raised by humans. They should be out in the wild with their mother, and it's very hard on them mentally because they're so smart, and their eyes are looking left and right, and they're trying to figure all this out, and yeah, they absorb everything, and they're struggling to settle in here.
Manitoba Conservation says the maximum penalty for this type of offense is a $10,000 fine and or 6 months imprisonment. Anyone with information is being asked to contact conservation officers or call the Turn In Poachers tip line. Those numbers are up on your screen, and you do not need to give your name. The cost of playing Lotto Max is going up, although the increased price also comes with a boost to your chances of winning. Starting Friday, the price of Lotto Max tickets go from $5 to $6, but each ticket will now have 4 lines instead of 3. Plus, players will pick 7 numbers from a range of 1 to 52 instead of 50. Experts say these changes should give players slightly better returns over time, which could balance out the higher ticket price. Here's a look at what's happening now on the road at Main and Broadway. It looks like there is a collision on Broadway and emergency vehicles are on scene. All westbound lanes are blocked. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please send us a text at 10400. Let's talk about entertainment now. The Great Outdoors Comedy Festival has announced its Winnipeg headliners, and some big names will be taking the stage at Assiniboine Park.
I'm 6'3", I'm 140 pounds. I have a problem with wind. My friend's like, you want to go out? I'm like, you got to check the forecast first. I might lose a friend.
SNL alum Pete Davidson and Emmy-winning comedian Aziz Ansari will be performing Saturday night sets this summer. They will be joined by special guests Jordan Jensen and Robbie Hoffman. Jim Gaffigan will kick off the festival Friday with viral content creator John Christ and comic Ryan Hamilton. And Matt Rife will close out the festival on Sunday. The Great Outdoors Comedy Festival runs from July 17th through the 19th. Individual show tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. A legendary local punk band is returning to the stage here in Winnipeg this fall. Gandhi is set to play an all-ages show at the Burton Cummings Theatre September 6th. The politically charged punk band will be joined by Ontario's The Flatliners. Tickets go on sale Friday through burtoncummingstheatre.ca, but 150 tickets will also be available starting a day earlier at Into the Music in the Exchange. You've got a chance to see a famous rapper live in the Peg this summer. Grammy Award winner Chance the Rapper is bringing his unique brand of hip-hop to Canada Life Centre. Feature music from his latest album Starline, as well as hits like No Problem and Cocoa Butter Kisses. You can see Chance in action July 13th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets go on sale Friday, April 10th through Ticketmaster. Coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, the 2-hour season 5 premiere of The Floor starts at 7. Shark Tank is next at 9, and Scrubs winds things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Aside, we're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Everything white and crisp once again, although I don't think it's going to be staying very crisp for long. What a mess we're going to be in for today with the temperatures that are sitting right now at the freezing mark. Very mild to kick things off, and will be rising throughout the day today. So all of that snow, which is looking pretty pristine right now, you get a few vehicles out there, it's going to be a muddy mess out on the streets. Top up with the windshield wiper fluid. You're certainly going to need it today. Along with these mild temperatures comes still the falling snow and some very strong winds. So all of that is what we're waking up to this morning. But these temperatures just barely below the freezing mark for those that even are below the freezing mark. And then there's parts of northern Manitoba, a little bit cooler yet in those mid to high minus teens or even low minus 20s, but big warm-ups to come, and northern Manitoba is in for quite a pleasant day, even though this morning Churchill is dealing with a wind chill value of minus 30. You could be into the plus digits, Churchill, for later this afternoon. Here we're still dealing with the snow, but it's kind of the tail end of the worst of it. Not saying it's the tail end of the snow, because we'll likely still see that off and on throughout the day today, but once the bulk of this passes, then it's just going to be some light and scattered flurries off and on through the day, and maybe even a few pockets of sunshine through midday. 1 degree as kids get settled into the classroom, 2 degrees through the lunch hour, 3 are expected high for today. Still nowhere near seasonal though. 8 degrees is normal, and we'll slowly get there by Friday with a bit warmer temperatures tomorrow and a lot warmer for the coming weekend. Our weather picture today, this fox just standing out there in the snow. Shelley snapped this photo. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
April 8th, 1969. The Montreal Expos played their first ever regular season game, which took place at New York's Shea Stadium. The Expos edged the New York Mets 11-10. The Expos finished the season with a record of 52-110. The Mets overcame that opening loss to astound the baseball world by winning the World Series. April 8th, 2013, Margaret Thatcher, Britain's first female prime minister, who became known as the Iron Lady, died at age 87. During her 11 years in office, Thatcher transformed a crippled economy by breaking unions and selling off state industries. She was admired by some as a savior of Britain, but regarded by critics as a heartless tyrant. April 8th, 2024. The federal government announced plans to spend $8.1 billion over the following 5 years, upgrading and modernizing the Canadian military, emphasizing the defense of Canada's Arctic sovereignty. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the money was part of a larger $73 billion plan over the following 20 years. There was a very close call for 4 children in Texas. They managed to escape being hit by an out-of-control motorcycle just before it exploded into flames. ABC's Hannah Bada has the story.
Video captures the moment 4 children near San Antonio escaped after this crashing motorcycle narrowly missed them before exploding in flames. The rider had lost control. The bike then on its side, speeding towards the sidewalk where the children were walking. The rider sliding along the road just behind it. The bike hits a pole and explodes. The flaming debris raining down, but narrowly missing the kids. The rider, engulfed in flames, runs away, trying to put out the fire.
I think it was nothing short of a miracle that there was not a single child that was hurt.
Robert Perez's security camera caught the moment. He says when he reviewed the footage, he couldn't believe the children were not injured.
I did not expect to see a big fireball in the air with children standing there. And so as I kind of got closer to the time that it was happening, I started watching the kids walk closer and closer. And to me, I said, oh no, don't tell me those children were still there when it happened.
The rider suffered second-degree burns. Locals say crashes are common there. They want speed bumps and 4-way stop signs installed to slow down traffic.
You don't have to drive that fast. And for people in the neighborhood, just slow down and take it easy a bit because there are children at play.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, we're live at St. John Ambulance with our Ainsley McPhail. We're going to find out a lot more about some of the programs available there and why they could save someone's life. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at St. John Ambulance this morning. Really, you could learn some skills there that could help save a life. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. And I feel like I haven't taken a course like this in so long. And if you're watching and you're at home in the same position, now might be your sign to start. Brenda to my left, Bianca to my right are going to explain and show you exactly how it's done. Brenda, you've been doing this for more than 3 decades now, so I have found the right woman to help me out with this. But at St. John Ambulance, tell us about how it all works.
So we offer a wide variety of first aid courses, all level, from our basic 1-day course to our advanced level, which is 80 hours, or our fire first response course. And all of our first aid courses, they involve CPR. So I'm going to do a demonstration of CPR today.
Please do. And I don't know what happened. I was just transformed back in time to no fire, no wire, no gas, no glass. There we go. Okay, it's coming back to me now.
I have another one of no bugs, no thugs, no drugs now, too. So there's another one to add.
Yeah, I got to update myself. Bianca, okay, so now we're in an emergency situation. What do we do next?
Okay, so Brenda's going to do 30 compressions to 2 breaths. She's going to make sure that she's pushing hard and fast for those compressions, and then making sure that she's giving enough time for the chest to recoil. And then after she's done her compressions, she's going to do 2 breaths. And then after that, we're going to do a quick walkthrough of how to use an AED.
That must be very obviously stressful because of the situation, but really tiring to be doing this over and over again.
Oh yes, it's a lot of work. And then, yeah, so now that she's done that, we're not going to go through another round of compressions. She's just going to show us how to turn on the AED and then put that onto the person. So an AED, I'm just going to let it talk for a second. An AED can save a life up to 75% chance. So that's an amazing statistic. So you want to make sure that we have AEDs at workplaces as well as in community centers.
Wow, and you guys are offering these courses. How can people take advantage?
Are you clear? You're all clear? Stay clear of patient.
Okay, you're gonna have to head to the website for that. I'm very immersed in this conversation. Okay, back to you guys in the studio.
Begin CPR.
It's exhausting work saving someone's life. It's a good thing you have that kind of technology.
It really is. How many of us, though, will forever remember the Office episode, to reference a little bit of pop culture, and the Stayin' Alive song that we're supposed to sing because that's the base of the
and
beat?
So many other great parts to that whole segment as well.
Okay, here's the thing. If you are going to find yourself indoors today, do a little binge watching, find that episode, and have a good chuckle about it. You can see the fog descending over the downtown area, so reduced visibility from the fog now, as opposed to a couple hours back when that reduced visibility was all due to the snow. The snow has eased somewhat. Certainly the size of the flakes have. It's 0 degrees. It feels like -6 with a 29k wind out of the east-southeast. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. There is still some snow coming down. Don't get me wrong. The system hasn't entirely passed, but it's certainly the worst of it has moved off to areas just to the north, to the east of us, and further east yet, northwestern Ontario. You've got more of that to come. The southwest already looking to be not in the clear, but having seen the bulk of the snow taper off. Northern Manitoba, you are in the clear. It's going to be a beautiful day up north with some sunshine and all. And all meaning some plus-digit temperatures. We'll get the and all part, just not the sunshine, with the heavier clouds likely to linger and still some scattered snow, which could continue then overnight as these winds shift out of the northwest, increasing again through the overnight hours. Things could be a little bit blustery still. Tomorrow, improvements with the winds tapering off. The temperatures on the rise a little bit more. Still not quite the seasonal 8 degrees, but we should be getting there by Friday. And with it, a little bit of sunshine to enjoy. Even warmer yet for the weekend, but could get soggy by Sunday. And then we'll notice those temperatures falling off again for the start of next week.
The City of Winnipeg's ground squirrel management program got underway Tuesday, but not before a handful of advocacy groups issued a last-minute appeal, hoping to prevent a pair of controversial pest control products from being used. At issue are 2 products, Rosol, poison bait, and Rokon, a type of asphyxiant which is sprayed into holes. Animal Justice, the Winnipeg Humane Society, and University of Manitoba biology professor James Hare are appealing directly to the Environment Minister. They're asking him to suspend and ultimately revoke the permit the province issued, allowing the city to use them. The groups say the products can cause prolonged suffering, particularly Rosol, which causes internal bleeding, and the risk of the poison entering the food chain is too great. Hare, the professor, says he believes control is necessary and it should be happening, but he believes live trapping is a better course of action.
I do think it's highly feasible in the sense that they could be live trapped very readily with the same sort of staff you have employed, in dispersing these, rodenticides at the various sites. You could live trap them. You could transport them to a central location, have a veterinarian euthanize them as they're transported.
In a statement, a provincial spokesperson says, quote, both Rosol and Rokon are registered by Health Canada, which means they have undergone rigorous scientific evaluation to ensure they do not pose unacceptable risks when used as directed. Barring any successful appeals, the city will be using the products at the 9 parks listed on your screen. Signage will be posted 24 hours before and after treatment, and the sites will be monitored to make sure only ground squirrels are affected and their carcasses are removed quickly. It adds the 2 products have only been approved for this season, and an advisory committee is being formed to figure out what to do in the future. The Conservatives are not done clashing with the Liberals over a proposed high-speed rail line.
The legislation that benefits Alto was included in the finance minister's budget, and nothing ends up in the budget that the finance minister hasn't put eyes on.
The Conservatives are calling on Ottawa's ethics commissioner to investigate Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne. This is because his partner, Anne-Marie Godet, is a vice president at Alto, the Crown company in charge of the rail project. In an email seen by CTV News, the ethics commissioner has told Minister Champagne he is not in conflict of interest. Prime Minister Mark Carney also defended the finance minister.
The Minister of Finance has followed those rules and regulations in notification of the Ethics Commissioner, in recusing himself.
The Conservatives have called for the entire high-speed rail project to be scrapped. This is due to backlash from people living along the route. Prime Minister Mark Carney says anyone who loses land because of the project will be compensated. The proposed line will run between Toronto and Quebec City. An Alberta First Nation was in court Tuesday trying to shut down a petition urging the province to quit Confederation. A campaign by Stay Free Alberta is collecting signatures to force a referendum on Alberta leaving Canada. But the Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation is asking a judge to suspend that petition, arguing it needs consent from First Nations. The First Nation alleges Alberta, Canada, and the province's chief electoral officer are failing to uphold treaty rights. The Alberta government has said if enough signatures are gathered, the question will be put to a vote. Stay Free Alberta says it has already collected enough. Hundreds of dog owners came out for a massive egg hunt for a wonderful cause in Southwest Ontario.
All the money goes directly to providing service dogs to veterans and first responders with PTSD, children with autism, and also facility dogs who work in various settings across the country.
The aim was to raise $75,000. Each participant donated and had the chance to score prizes hidden inside the eggs. A service dog is valued at about $15,000 over the course of their working careers. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, all northbound lanes on Kennedy Street will be closed between Sargent and Cumberland Avenue. The eastbound curb lane on Corden will be closed from Waverley to Oxford Street, and the westbound curb lane on Cobourg Street will be closed between Henderson and Beatrice. And we have a traffic alert for you as well. Right now there is a collision on Nairn Avenue at Panet. The eastbound left turn lane and the westbound curb lanes are blocked. If you have any other traffic tips or updates, please text them to us at 10400. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.84. The provincial average is $1.70. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.69, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Outside this morning, we're still dealing with some fog and some light snow that is continuing to fall. The worst of it seems to have passed. 0 degrees at the moment, -7 is what it feels like when you're factoring in a 28K wind out of the east-southeast. The pressure falling and the humidity at 96%. The snow was falling earlier this morning. The size of the snowflakes were massive and it accumulated quickly. So you open the door, you step outside, and there's a few centimeters that you're stepping into. But like I said, the bulk of that has passed now. It is pushing into parts of more central Manitoba as well as further east of us into parts of northwestern Ontario. For northern Manitoba, look at the day that you've got ahead today. -2 up in Churchill. I think I said earlier +2. I didn't mean to. -2 is still a massive improvement over where you've been for the past stretch of weeks now. And there will be some places that will be pushing up into those plus digits. A beautiful, pleasant day expected across northern Manitoba with some sunshine to enjoy. A lack of sunshine here in the south, though. Heavier clouds hanging around. Some will still deal with the snow, especially through that more central stretch. Parts of southern Manitoba, further that you go into the south, could be seeing more rain mixed into that. I know it looked like it had tapered off for now, but that whole system is going to do a little bit of a wraparound, and we will still find ourselves likely in the path of some mixed precipitation. And then further east, yes, you saw the direction it was headed. Northwestern Ontario, wait for it. It's coming for you as well. But 3 degrees is where we're headed today, which is milder than it's been, and the warm-up will continue as we continue through the rest of the week, getting up to a seasonal 8 degrees by Friday with a bit of sunshine to enjoy. And then temperatures on the rise for the weekend, above normal for the first time in what seems like forever. But precipitation to wrap up the weekend will be followed by cooler temperatures next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is at St. John Ambulance and hanging out with the cutest little fur ball. Hello, Ainsley.
I know. It's like he's been posing, I swear, the whole time. This is what you want in a therapy dog that just doubles as a model. We're at St. John Ambulance, and we're talking about the amazing services that these dogs can provide for folks in need. Where Angelique is, I guess, the provider. Tell us a little bit about this therapy dog program and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Samantha Rodick. I'm the Director of Community Services. So I oversee all of our community volunteer programs, this being the Therapy Dog program, where people like Angelique bring their beautiful dogs and they go out into the community as volunteers. They visit hospitals and businesses. They do staff wellness events. And they just get to be with the beautiful dogs that we have, and we have over 200 of them.
And real quick, what's a therapy dog?
It is a dog, so it's a little bit different than a service dog in that they're there to just provide emotional support. So in times of high stress, like we're all experiencing, our dogs are perfect for those. So, yeah.
I told you that he's a model. This is amazing. Tell us about your experience with this program.
Well, Finney started and passed his St. John's Ambulance Therapy dog just before the COVID lockdown. And after that, Health Sciences Centre had asked for a therapy dog team to give support to the frontline workers. So Finney took on that role and worked throughout the whole pandemic. He also was called upon following the Carberry bus crash, and he visited the survivors and the families of the bus crash and provided support and calming, and he was also visiting the 3 waiting rooms that were full of the patients' members, family that were flying in from all over Canada. In recognition of both these deployments, Finney and I were honored to receive the King Charles III Coronation Award. Wow. So, yeah, so it was pretty awesome.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And you know what? They're looking for dogs just like Finney. If you think that you're an owner or could be a proud owner of one, head to a link on our website.
That's a gorgeous dog. Wow. Thank you, Ainsley. Quite All Right is the new single by jazz crooner Eddie Dalton. Hits from his album have landed him on the iTunes Top 100 Singles chart 11 times. But he won't be coming on tour here in Winnipeg or anywhere else for that matter. As ABC's Sophie Flay shows you, Eddie Dalton doesn't actually exist.
He's the blues singer lighting up the iTunes charts.
Time don't wait, it just carries you through.
His songs racking up hundreds of thousands of views in just a few weeks.
Watch the rest all fade away.
But if you were hoping to see Eddie Dalton live, don't hold your breath.
Old school soul and blues musician is not real. He's entirely AI generated.
Ooh. That's right. Eddie Dalton is generated by artificial intelligence, the creation of Dallas Ray Little, who runs a record company producing AI music and videos for fictional musicians. Little says he writes all the music and does not agree with the negative discourse surrounding AI music, saying referring to it as a content farm and suggesting people are being misled is inaccurate. But some wonder if Eddie Dalton's success is also being generated. Yahoo notes, the iTunes algorithm rewards the number of downloads, not necessarily the number of streams or plays on mainstream radio. One insider saying, the day we hear one of these songs on the radio, we'll take this seriously. It comes as Hollywood grapples with the controversy over AI actress Tilly Norwood.
The human spark.
And looking at the bigger picture, a new report from Goldman Sachs warns artificial intelligence is now to blame for a net loss of about 16,000 jobs in the U.S. every month. A figure that could have real people singing the blues. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Kendall. Grandma and Grandpa wish you a fantastic day. Happy 8th birthday to Scarlett. Love Mom, Dad, Big Brother Hunter, and baby sister Stella. Happy 65th birthday, Roxanne. Love from Mike and your children, Michael, Lisa, daughter-in-law Sarah, grandchildren Dominic, Brandon, Corey, and Kaylee. Happy 20th birthday, Ava, from your mom, dad, Madison, and the whole family. Happy birthday, Dan. Love Nora, Tristan, and Terrence. And a happy 73rd wedding anniversary to Albert and Elaine with love and very best wishes from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, 3 degrees is where we're headed today, which is warmer than it's been over the past few days. But 8 is, in fact, normal for this time of year. We were pretty much there last year. Back in 1931, 22.8 degrees. My goodness. Although we're actually in for a great big warm-up this weekend that could have ourselves finding spaces on the patio. This snow that fell earlier this morning, look at it. Just look how sticky it is. That is snowball snow, snowman snow, if you will. So yeah, tell the kids to get outside and have some fun with that, because I know there's going to be a lot of places that maybe kids aren't going to school today. And you will have to do some shoveling, because it's probably 4, almost 5 centimeters in some places. With the wind, the way it blew it around, not sure if the totals are completely accurate, but still, there's plenty of the white stuff out here. Fog is lifting a little bit. 0 degrees is where we're still sitting. We've been here all morning long with a bit of a breeze as well. But the bulk of the snow is tapered off. I know I do still have the umbrella out here. It's kind of more rain almost, or some freezing rain, if you will. Anyway, you're still going to find yourself getting wet if you step outside, but the visibility has improved big time over those giant flakes that were swirling around earlier this morning. The bulk of the system has passed, but we'll still see some scattered precipitation today. Central Manitoba, that will be one of the harder hit areas still throughout the day, and further east in northwestern Ontario. Where it's going to be the best, northern Manitoba. Enjoy some sunshine and some plus-digit temps to go with that.
Thank you, Terry. The City of Winnipeg has an incredible tree canopy that includes 3 million trees citywide. Trees bring nature and beauty to our urban setting, but there are so many other benefits too. Many of the trees are sick and dying, and the city has a long-term plan to maintain our foliage. A new book titled Out on a Limb explores the importance of trees in urban settings and what needs to happen in the future to preserve and revitalize tree canopies. And joining us now is author, filmmaker, and environmental activist Erna Buffy. Good morning, Erna.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you are very passionate about trees.
Yes.
How did that passion begin?
Well, you know, in the book, I tell little stories about my earliest experiences with nature, which were all related to trees.
Right.
And when I came back to Winnipeg and decided to live in Wolseley, I realized how many we were losing. Mm-hmm. So after the 2019 ice storm, this group called Trees Please Winnipeg formed. And since then, we've been lobbying the city to see trees as essential infrastructure.
Right.
They're not just, you know, something that prettifies the city. They're essential, particularly in a climate context. So I look at that in the book. I look at the history of our canopy, and tell personal stories related to my own experiences.
Okay, so let's talk about our canopy. How do we compare to other cities?
Well, we're in terms of Western cities, we're not too bad.
Okay.
Like Calgary's, I think, only at 7 or 8%. We're at 17%.
Okay.
But, you know, the experts say we need to be at 30%.
And why 30%?
30% because as global warming ramps up and we get hotter summers, we need that shade to stay healthy, particularly in more vulnerable neighborhoods. So we need to expand our canopy. And part of we're holding a tree town hall coming up. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we're looking at is the need to protect private trees on private property, because that makes up 80 to 90% of our canopy. You know, I think most people think of city trees and they think of all those trees on the boulevard
right.
and in parks. Well, that only makes up 300,000 trees of our total 3 million trees. The rest are on private land and they don't have protection, and they need protection.
And so it's important to protect those, but there are so many trees right now that are sick as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So what can we do to protect our trees from getting sick, or even preventing it from happening in the first place by planting certain kinds of trees?
Well, one of the things that urban forestry has done, and done really well, is they're in the process of diversifying the canopy, because we essentially had 2 monocultures. We had elms, and then when the elms started dying, they started planting ash. Well, monocultures are really vulnerable, so if a disease hits them. So when I started with Trees Please, part of our concern was the fact that forestry was saying we were going to lose 30 to 50% of our canopy if the emerald ash borer took hold. So we were already dealing with Dutch elm disease. And then this other problem was looming on the horizon. So we really felt that urban forestry, the city needed to start treating the urban forest much more seriously and start investing more. So we actually did a pledge, an election pledge, which all councillors signed. And they delivered on it. They increased urban forestry's budget by 45%.
Which is a great big jump.
It's huge.
Yeah. What do you want people to know about the book and what they can take from it?
Well, you know, the book looks at, as I said, the history of the canopy, but it also looks at the incredible benefits of trees. So in terms of conserving water, in terms of providing shade, lowering your energy bills, you know, the services they provide for us tally up to something, with carbon storage combined, our trees save us somewhere in the neighborhood of $54 million.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I think it's around 14 million in direct services, like sopping up floodwater and mitigating heat.
Right. Well, if you want more information on the book, we have a link on our website. Out on a Limb, Erna Buffy. Thank you, Erna.
Thanks so much.
Hello, everyone. Jermaine Franklin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment for that. We go to Boston. Hornets, Celtics in the second quarter. Con Knipple throws it up. Both Ryan Kalkbrenner and Brandon Miller go up and finish the alley-oop. Not something you see every day. A double oop? This is your must-see moment. And today on TSN, it's the Masters Par 3 contest ahead of Thursday's first round. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's it from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Wednesday, April 8th. Producers versus predators. An uptick in wolf attacks against cattle means some losses for farmers that are not always compensated. Deadline delayed. A temporary last-minute arrangement could soon get ships moving safely again in the Middle East and lead to a longer-term peace deal. And this London restaurant boasts a dining experience in which tastes, textures, and aromas are only the beginning of a dramatic feast for all the senses. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 8:15, we're going to hear from Film Training Manitoba. They are offering a special program. It's called a camera lab. It's a special camera lab just for women, trained by women. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the significance of that, because the movie industry here is booming.
Oh, yeah,
in
it
our
is.
province, bringing in millions of dollars. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the need to train more women in this industry. But
love
first,
that.
let's talk about the weather.
Oh, can we not?
So I know it's just been so miserable, but
what was your drive-in like?
It was clean and clear and dry.
Okay.
I think once I got here, that's when everything started.
Yeah, it really was. It was kind of just after 5 a.m. that things really, so you're in much earlier, right? So just after 5 a.m. and there were snow squall warnings that were issued and a warning of the fast accumulating snow, the near zero visibility, the winds, all of that. And sure enough, we saw all of that. The bulk of it has passed now, and we're starting to see some improvements. You can still see a little bit of fog over the city and all of that fresh snow on the streets. 0 degrees is where we're sitting with east-southeast winds 28 kilometers per hour now. Pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. 0 degrees as far as our temperature goes. That is above seasonal. A normal low would be -3, so a mild start to the day, but a very wintry start to the day with heavy, wet, sticky snow, and that's what's out there this morning. It did accumulate quickly, and there you can see that now it is pretty much past Winnipeg. Winnipeg is just that little circle there on the map, but moving into parts of northwestern Ontario and in areas just to the north of us too, and still much of central Manitoba will deal with this through the day. Here's a look at the futurecast with an idea of how things play out through the day. Meanwhile, northern Manitoba, beautiful conditions, sunshine plus digit temperatures. We too are likely to push above the freezing mark, so the temperatures will be rising a little higher than they've been, but this snow will still continue. Even though the bulk of it will remain through central Manitoba, you can still see some scattered precipitation expected here through the south. Could be snow, could be a little bit of rain mixed into that. I've noticed a bit of kind of freezing rain so far over the last little while now. Heavier clouds still expected to linger into Thursday, but warmer temperatures to come by Friday or late Thursday and into Friday. Then things clearing out, getting a little bit sunnier and getting a little bit warmer too. It's what we've been waiting for, those seasonal temperatures expected by the end of the week and above normal for the weekend, though it will be dropping off. We've got a system of showers passing through Sunday. that'll come with some cooler temperatures for the start of next week. Our art today is all thanks to a few grade 2 students at Ralph Maybeck School. Lean, Asta, and Aisha, thank you for all that you've done here, and keep the art coming. You can now send it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you enter online or enter through our website, you're also entering to win a $100 gift card for Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
As the spring melt takes place across the province, a new threat for farmers is emerging. Interlake farmers say an increase in the number of wolves is posing a real threat to their cattle herds.
We've never really had wolves around, but they showed up a few years ago and nobody thought much of it. But now they started killing these beef cattle. Figured it's been 25 that they've ripped apart and killed.
Ross McMillan has farmed Holstein dairy cows for decades now. His farm is west of Warren, Manitoba. McMillan says wolves have killed at least 25 cows in the area. He and his neighbors have all observed that they are prowling at all hours of the day, not just at night. Chris Enright from Assiniboine Park Conservancy says Manitoba currently has a stable wolf population and the animal is very territorial. He says it's possible new packs could settle into the Interlake near livestock farmers.
They know where their food can be found, they know where the shelter is, but sometimes circumstances change, and this might be an example of something like that.
Another cattle farmer CTV News spoke to says it's difficult to get compensated for losses due to wolf predation because the agency in charge, the Manitoba Agricultural Services Corporation, needs a full carcass to process a claim, and full carcasses are not always easily recoverable when wolves attack. The province of Manitoba has updated its flood outlook, and it now shows an increased risk of flood in the Interlake. Manitoba's Hydrologic Forecast Center shows an elevated flood risk, particularly in the Fisher River Basin. Officials say the heightened risk is due to significantly above normal snowpack, a delayed spring melt, and an increased likelihood of rapid spring runoff. The province says the snow water equivalent in the area is already among the highest observed in recent years, and the snow falling overnight and this morning could increase the amounts to nearly double the long-term average. Negotiations are set to begin Friday on a ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran.
The president has told us not to use those tools. He's told us to come to the negotiating table. But if the Iranians don't do the exact same thing, they're going to find out that the president of the United States is not one to mess around.
Vice President J.D. Vance spoke about the deal at an event in Hungary. Pakistan's prime minister says Iran has confirmed it will attend talks with the U.S. on Friday in Islamabad. Vice President Vance says President Trump has told U.S. representatives who will be negotiating with Iran to do so in good faith, but warned Donald Trump is, quote, impatient to make progress. An immersive dining experience in London is meant to be a multi-sensory journey.
So when designing these experiences, we take into consideration the lighting and the audio just as much as we do the plating and the flavors that go into the dish. Everything has to be seamlessly put together to, perhaps in some cases, heighten people's perceptions of things.
It's called Kitchen Theory. Sound, light, aroma, and flavor all come together to make the experience more than just an average meal. Guests go through a number of sensory exercises, including wearing headphones to distinguish between cold and hot water sounds, to smelling aromas, and interacting with textured objects while drinking to see if it influences taste. Very cool. Here's a look now at what's going on the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are smooth here, but we do have a traffic alert to tell you about. The Salter Street is closed due to a fire from Mountain to St. John's. So use alternate routes ahead and avoid the area, please. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share with us, text them at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to St. John Ambulance, where our Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. There's lots going on there, including some really great programs. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Manitoba. And if you're at an event, you might not know that the first responders or volunteers Norman, and Carrie are joining me now to tell us all about this program. So tell us about the Volunteer First Responder Program, Norman.
Yeah, so we have a large number of volunteers here in Winnipeg that go to community events all the time, and they provide on-site first aid to anyone that might need it, from participants in a run to festival goers at, say, a great outdoor comedy festival. They're there to help when people need help most.
And why do you want to participate?
Well, I thought that it would be nice to help out in the community. I've always seen St. John Ambulance providing first aid courses, but I never knew they had a community services component to their organization. So that's what made me join, and here I am.
And that's the, I'll say, tricky thing about emergencies is you never know when it's going to happen. But it really does run a spectrum of emergencies when you're out and about.
Most definitely. For most events that I've been at, everything has been fairly minor, but I know some colleagues, fellow volunteers of mine, have experienced some more severe activities. So it's definitely important that we're out there to help those that are needed in the community with the fun activities.
And it runs the gamut of places that you're going and things that you're experiencing and people in community that you get to converse with. Tell us about this community outreach piece.
Well, it allows us to be out in the community and see everybody that's out there. Like you said, converse with those that are out there, meet new people within our organization. Within the years that I've been with this organization, I have met a lot of people that I still am friends with, even though they might not be within the organization anymore. Meet cool people outside, go to events that I don't even know existed without this.
We're out of time, but yes or no, are you looking for volunteers?
Always.
Okay, always. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to take all that time. Okay, yes, they're looking for volunteers. Head to a link on our website.
Thank you, Ainsley. A very Canadian theft was caught on camera north of Montreal. Police are searching for suspects who made off with some high-end hockey gear. Here's CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin.
This is a heist in broad daylight featuring Canada's game, a quick-thinking employee, and a search for suspects. And as you'll see, some of it caught on camera. The brazen robbery allegedly happened Saturday. A suspect walked into the store, grabbed a dozen sticks, and walked right out the door. An employee followed the man and started filming. Now, that man stuffed the high-end hockey sticks into the trunk of a car while a second suspect starts to drive away. The trunk still open, and the license plate appears to be partly obscured. Here's how the owner of the Rousseau Sports Store described what happened.
12, 13, 14 hockey, haut de gamme.
The man was looking around like a regular customer, says owner Pierre Gendron. Then, in a spectacular manner, he grabbed the sticks and walked right past the cash register. And now police have opened an investigation.
Le service de police confirme qu'une plainte qui a été déposée formellement au...
Agent Charnot of the Thérèse de Blainville Police says the investigators are analyzing the video and other evidence and asking anyone with information to get in touch with police. Now, every hockey parent right across this country will tell you that this is a big loot, thousands of dollars worth of gear. These are high-end carbon fiber hockey sticks produced from petroleum-based raw materials, and the price of that is going up. The owner estimates thieves drove away with about $4,000 to $5,000 worth of goods, and he's looking on Marketplace to see if his hockey sticks have gone up for sale. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Boisbriand, Quebec.
Looking through the CTV Live Eye now, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Now, we're seeing some improvements as far as visibility goes from earlier this morning when it was down to near zero as that snow squall passed through. Heavy, fat snowflakes swirling with those strong winds. The winds are still pretty strong, but the system of snow, the bulk of it anyway, has moved on so that now we're just dealing with some kind of fine freezing rain and nowhere near the poor visibility that we had earlier on this morning. The temperature itself really hasn't budged. We're sitting at the freezing mark right now in Winnipeg with a few places just above freezing and several more through central Manitoba that are just below freezing. Northern Manitoba is a little bit cooler yet in the mid to high minus teens. And then factor in the winds is still feeling a little bit chillier, especially up in the Churchill area. But Churchill will even be climbing close to the freezing mark today. A fair bit of sunshine is expected across northern Manitoba. You can see how clear it is on the satellite image, but all through the south and mostly central Manitoba now, that's where the bulk of the snow is falling. I mentioned how it's going to do a bit of a wraparound system, and we're seeing parts of the southwest getting hit again as a little bit more of that activity wraps back through. So we might see it kind of taper off from the morning snow to a bit of sunshine this afternoon, moments, and then more of that activity developing again later on today with a high of 3 degrees, which is warmer than it's been, but still below seasonal. 5 degrees for tomorrow as the temperatures continue to rise, and finally a seasonal 8 degrees expected by the end of the week, and then even warmer temperatures for the weekend, but a round of precipitation Sunday could carry us into Monday, and we will notice those temperatures dropping off for next week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. Manitoba's film industry is growing and brings in hundreds of millions of dollars to our province's economy. And with that kind of money rolling in, there's a need to ensure film professionals are trained and ready to work here in Manitoba. Film Training Manitoba hopes to bring in more women to the industry by offering a special camera lab designed and taught by professional women in the trade. It's called Swift Women's Camera Lab. And joining us now from Film Training Manitoba are Adam Smolik and one of the instructors of the camera lab, Tamara Roshka. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, our industry here is beyond booming. It's huge, right, Adam?
Absolutely. We've seen a huge level of growth in Manitoba's film industry for well over a decade. And so our organization, Film Training Manitoba, is attempting to do a whole gamut of training to attract new professionals into our industry.
And Tamara, you're one of those professionals. You've been in this industry for 20 years.
Yes, yeah.
How did you even get started in something like this? And tell us a little bit more about what inspires you and gives you passion every day.
Well, I grew up in the industry. My dad is a filmmaker in the city, and so I sort of was always on film sets growing up.
Okay.
And he introduced me to documentaries. At a young age, we would watch documentaries together, and so that's kind of where I ended up going. I ended up working as a camera operator because I was always loving to take photos.
Yeah.
And that kind of was just a natural progression, was to go into camera. So I started working professionally in the industry in the mid-2010s, and now I work as a DP. So I am really enjoying it, and I just sort of started realizing that there wasn't a lot of women in the film industry in Manitoba.
That was my next question. There is a shortage of women out there who are trained in this kind of industry.
Yeah, we've had a shortage in labor just in general in the film industry, and our organization about 5 or 6 years ago started to look at what other industries were doing to engage and try to attract new labor. And you just can't help but notice when you're on a film set that often some of the key craft positions could benefit from trying to recruit and attract women workers, and so certainly camera is one of those ones where we recognized we should, as an organization, Film Training Manitoba, engage, and we recognized that there was a group of frankly young women shooters here in the city that were doing really cutting edge, interesting work, and so I started to talk to Tamara and Eden Carter and Lena Brown about what can we do together, and they came up with this ingenious idea of doing 3 different mock shooting setups over the course of a workshop, because what's going on, and even when you look around the studio, there's different types of cameras being used, and particularly for documentary, you see a variety of types of cameras, and so we thought, well, why don't we as an agency, as an organization, facilitate a in-depth learning lab? And they've done a phenomenal job coming up with this. So we did it about 2 years ago, and just was shocking to see all of these women camera workers all together doing these mock shooting setups. It was fantastic.
And did they end up getting involved in the industry on a long-term basis?
So a lot of the women that have come through the camera lab, we have either had them on set, or they've been our assistants, or they've gone and forged their own paths. They've become producers, or they become directors. Like, some of them are just interested in getting into the industry and networking, which also is why Swift has been so great. It's a super collaborative and great place to network and safe space to network for women. And when I first went to Swift, I had no idea that there was this many women in the film industry in Manitoba.
So what is Swift exactly?
So it's our conference that's called Canada's Supporting Women in Film Trades, SWIFT. And so we've been holding this annual conference, and then what we've done as an organization is we've broke off our own division internally at Film Trade Manitoba, where we say it's our SWIFT programming. But we hold this event annually, and this past year we had a 3-time Emmy Award-winning production designer, Elizabeth Williams, that had worked on the Margaret Atwood project there.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, yeah.
Okay, so we're almost out of time already, but this camera lab is available right now to women. What do you want them to know? How do they register? How do they get involved?
Well, they could go to our website at www.filmtraining.mb.ca, and to be clear, we want any women that want to take this lab and participate to come in.
Non-binary.
Non-binary, trans, anyone that recognizes identifying as women that wants to participate. As an agency, we're a nonprofit charity, so we're open to anyone that wants to participate, and even for anyone that's seeing that if they have family members or friends, let's say, hey, go and take a look, and our staff are totally open to also encouraging people.
Okay, and of course, if you want more information on the camera lab, we have a link on our website. Thanks, you two.
Thank you.
Can you hear the rain? That's just me. That's just me making noise. Okay, it's kind of like freezing rain. I just messed with my microphone now. I'll hold it like this. As far as the conditions go, big improvements. The bulk of the snow has tapered off, but it's now kind of fine freezing rain, if you will. 0 degrees is where we're sitting right now, with the wind still gusty to 34 kilometers per hour out of the east-southeast. The pressure falling, humidity sitting at 96%, and yes, some heavier clouds still lingering. A little bit of fog, although a lot of that seems to have burnt off. The visibility has improved greatly. The conditions maybe not so much, especially now that we're seeing this kind of freezing rain. Expect things to be pretty slick out on the streets. And that first round of snow that brought 4 to 5 centimeters is very heavy, sticky snow. I think a lot of that has probably melted off some of the streets, but on the sidewalks it's certainly going to impact the traction. So pedestrians, please use a little bit of caution, and motorists, please try not to splash the pedestrians, because those streets will be messy, and I know that'll be a near impossible task to not be splashing people, but do try your best. Stay out of the curb lanes, if you will. Temperature wise, it's going to be fairly pleasant today. I mean, warmer than it's been, still below seasonal, but we should be pushing a few degrees above the freezing mark. Right up into parts of northern Manitoba, those plus digits will be enjoyed with a lot more sunshine up north. We'll get some sunshine eventually by the end of the week, but it'll probably take until Friday before it really warms back to seasonal. Beautiful shot of this fox just standing around in all that heavy snow. Thanks to Shelley for the photo. Keep them coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
I'm with Brian Sharfstein today at the newest location of Canadian Footwear. What a beautiful place you've got. Why don't you tell people where they can now find you?
Well, they can find us on the corner of Kenniston and Lindenwood Drive.
All right. It's an expansion. Nothing is closed. You've only added on to your growing business here. Yep. Started back with your folks. There's a long history to this.
Yeah, the brief is 1932. It was called Patrick's Limited. They changed the name to Canadian Footwear in the 1950s, and we've moved forward from just being a destination. We're now upscaling a little bit to be higher profile and be more visible to the community.
Well, you're certainly going to do that here in this new location. And in fact, some famous faces have come through your doors too. Let's talk about some of the people you've helped out over the years.
Well, one of the most memorable is Stompin' Tom Connors, who got all of his stompin' boots from Canadian Footwear. And we were very proud every time he'd come through. He would come with us with his entire backup, and they'd all get Western boots from us.
Amazing. What a little notch to say, you know, something you can be super proud of. You can also be super proud of the passing of the torch, because this really is a family business. Yep. Started with your folks, but the next generation is waiting in line.
Waiting in line, and that's really starting over the last couple of months. Certainly family. Our daughter has been with us for a number of years now, and both my daughter and son-in-law are joining us, and we're moving things up, and nothing will change. The relationships, the experiences will be as good and better than they've ever been. We're just more focused on the entire community.
Excellent. Yes, I mean, nothing changes. The same great fit, the same amazing selection, maybe just a little bit more accessible to folks who had a harder time getting to some of your other locations. This just makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yes, makes it much easier. And we're identifying the diversity of customers that we have. And so for a lot of people that may not want to go from one location to another, this is just a part of Winnipeg that we weren't accessible to. And we're seeing a lot of people coming from out of town in this part of the province.
Okay. So and people that are finding you for the first time, too.
Absolutely. A lot of new time customers coming in. And they're very excited to be here because it allows us to start new relationships, which are really important. And they really have never experienced what we provide to the customers.
Very nice. And in fact, at this particular location, more than just shoes, we talked about the history that you'll find on the walls here, but also in some of the very cool memorabilia here. Tell us some of the things that we're seeing.
Well, originally, when my father bought the business in 1932, in fact, there were a lot of artifacts, or I'll call them historic artifacts, that are vintage now. From the original Burroughs key punch computer, which wasn't a computer, through to catalogs and just different things like spats from the Church Shoe Company from the late 1800s that bankers wore. And we found all of these in the rafter, and we've brought all of these forward and made them a part of our new store so that people can really understand and see this is not just a shoe store. There's a lot of history here, proud Canadian and Winnipeg history that we're going to carry on.
It really is a beautiful place. So much to see, a little history lesson. Take it all in. Yeah. Congratulations on the new store.
Thank you.
Get ready to celebrate your child's next birthday with a Your Morning Winnipeg contest. This week we are giving away a kid's birthday party valued at $300 from Crockadoodle on Keniston location. You can invite up to 8 guests to party and paint your own pottery. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword happy. Good luck.
There's a look outside. It's 0 degrees. Most of the snow has tapered off, although it's kind of more freezing rain at this time. But those big fat flakes at least have moved on. East-southeast winds are gusting to 34 kilometers per hour with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. You can see, looking at the satellite image, what I'm talking about, how the bulk of that has moved on. But see how it's kind of wrapping around again? So it's not like it's over. We will likely see more of that as it's beginning to move back into parts of the southwest where it had tapered off. And now the next round is coming, and as this kind of wraps around and moves back into the southwest, what was very active over us is now pushing off to the east and into parts of northwestern Ontario and into parts of central Manitoba, where it will actually hang around through much of the day. That central stretch is still going to be pretty hard hit. Just some off and on activity expected further into the south. And then for northern Manitoba, well, it's going to be a beautiful day for you. Enjoy the sunshine and some plus-digit temperatures. We too will likely climb above the freezing mark, not by much. We'll take it though. 3 degrees better than it's been. Seasonal, that would be 8 degrees, and we're still nowhere near that, but we will start to get a little bit closer, especially in the days ahead. Dropping off to -4 overnight. That is pretty much normal for this time of year. There is still that chance of the flurry activity continuing and a shift in those winds out of the north at about 50 kilometers per hour. A little bit warmer tomorrow, still some heavier clouds, though they may start to break up later on into the afternoon with a lot more sunshine by the end of the week. And finally, those seasonal temperatures with a warm up still to come as we're looking ahead to the weekend, but it could also bring a round of precipitation that'll cause those temperatures to drop off for next week.
A new housing project will bring 150 new homes to St. James.
This is a powerful example, though, of economic reconciliation in action.
The City of Winnipeg, federal government, province, and Shoal Lake 40 First Nation have announced more than $51 million for the new development planned for 2675 Portage Avenue. It will see 150 apartment-style homes built on the site with a mix of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. 61 of the units will be affordable, while the rest will be made available at fair market value. The project is wholly owned by Shoal Lake 40, whose lake water is Winnipeg's water source.
We are now coming to the city's aid again with this $48 million affordable housing development, providing a cost-effective housing solution to the city's critical housing shortage.
This is Shoal Lake 40's first housing development in Winnipeg, but it has plans for more projects following its completion. The cost of the project will be shared among the 4 levels of government, with the bulk being covered by the federal government's Affordable Housing Fund. In another funding announcement, the RM of Headingley's Water Reservoir and Pumping Station project will receive $5 million from the federal government's Build Community Strong Fund. It's expected to add water storage and pumping capacity to the existing system. This will support the development of more than 1,700 new housing units, including a proposed new subdivision. The U.S. Trade Representative says issues with Mexico and Canada are unlikely to be resolved before the CUSMA deadline of July the 1st.
We want to resolve as much as we can. We've worked really closely with the Mexicans over the past year. They've resolved a lot of issues. The Canadians, we have some issues with them that haven't been resolved yet.
Greer was speaking at an event put on by a Washington think tank. On July 1st, the 3 countries need to say whether they want to renew the agreement, withdraw from it, or continue negotiations. A heartwarming moment for the Artemis II crew inside their capsule.
We just wanted to take this moment to recognize the 2 newest members of the Association of Space Explorers, NASA astronaut Christina Cook and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
Members of the Association of Space Explorers must have completed at least 1 orbit of Earth in a spacecraft. It includes over 400 space flyers from 43 countries. Many companies are passing on the rising costs of fuel to consumers. CTV's Heather Wright looks at where Canadians are feeling the pinch.
English cheddars, French bries, provolone from Quebec. Good Cheese in downtown Toronto stocks products from around the world and is among the many now grappling with the impacts of world events.
The first thing that you're going to notice is the price of shipping is going up. So that's definitely we're feeling the pinch on that.
Not only are shipping costs up, owner Luke Champion says so too are the prices of many cheeses he sells from both international and domestic suppliers. Champion is absorbing as much as he can, but worries about the unknown.
We're feeling it a little bit, but we're concerned about what's to come.
Businesses, households, grocers, and airlines are all feeling the impact of the war in Iran, now in its 6th week. The average price of regular gas in Canada is up 51 cents a litre since February 28th. Diesel has climbed an average of 74 cents a litre, while jet fuel has surged $1.05 a litre. And many companies have already begun passing these prices along to the consumer. Air Canada, WestJet, Porter, and Air Transat have all added various increases to their airfares or vacation packages, while Amazon will charge sellers a 3.5% fuel surcharge on deliveries beginning April 17th.
Energy, oil is embedded in everything that we have in the modern economy.
Andre Serra is an operations management professor at the University of Toronto and predicts high prices will be here for many months, even if the war ends soon.
I would say that the only certainty that we have is that it's going to take a long time until the prices, they really stabilize.
While inflation eased in February, experts are expecting a significant increase to the March numbers and say the longer this war lasts, the harder it is going to be for consumers. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. It looks like things here are moving quite well. The streets might be slippery in some parts, though, with that fresh snow that just fell. So be mindful of that. Let's take a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average continues to rise. It's now at $1.84. The provincial average is $1.70. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.69. And the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Empanada Day, and we asked, what's your favorite foreign food? Connie likes Italian. Bill says Chinese from Highball on Academy Road. Lisa loves pancit and any type of spring roll. Chinese food for Craig, especially Kung Pao chicken and egg rolls. Marlene likes fresh coconut from a tree way fresher. And she tried stir-fried crocodile in Punta Cana once. It tasted like chicken. Okay. A viewer shared, I absolutely love Chinese food. And Andy says, my favorite foreign food is Vietnamese pho with barbecue pork salad rolls. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at St. John Ambulance. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yes, this long-standing organization does everything from teaching the community CPR to bringing a dog to folks in need. Christina Fosty joins us to talk a little bit about that community outreach piece. It's truly remarkable just how much you guys are out in the community. What does that look like from your vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, you know, before I started to work at St. John Ambulance, I wasn't even aware of the community involvement that we have. I was always associating it with first aid and CPR training and being able to, you know, purchase this first aid products. But now that I'm involved directly, the community that we have such an impact on our community. It blows me away every day. So through our dog therapy program, obviously our emergency response and our medical first aid, we're out there every day, all day.
And you're bringing smiles to the faces of people who are going through some pretty tough times. What does that look like from their perspective?
Well, again, we have the opportunity of going to hospitals, care homes, schools. Now we're even starting to, there's a demand for our therapy dogs to go to organizations during their wellness weeks or days that they have. And you just see the faces that light up. What a dog can do to someone's soul and heart is just, it's amazing. And you see it whether someone's in the hospital or someone's going to work and sees a dog come in for their wellness day. Like you literally see it every day.
I bet. And I'm also wondering if you're looking for volunteers or people to help out. What would that look like if someone at home is watching and questioning it?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. I mean, we're volunteer driven. And so if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to be here. So yeah, we're always looking for volunteers, again, through our dog therapy program, if you're interested in doing first aid or emergency response.
This building's awesome because the newer one's been around for 5 years now. They see over 30,000 people annually.
Wow.
And even more dogs.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Over 100 dogs, though.
Okay, well, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's still falling.
Yeah, it really is. It's definitely kind of more that freezing rain now. Some ice pellets tucked in there. Really don't need the gloves this morning. It's mild. Our temperatures have been above seasonal for morning temperatures. They'll remain below seasonal for daytime highs, though, because we're not going to get to that seasonal 8 degrees. Yeah, that's what's normal for this time of year. We might hopefully be there by the end of the week, but certainly not today and probably not tomorrow either. Right now, we are still dealing with this precipitation. It's 0 degrees with a 34K wind gusting out of the east-southeast. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 96%. So there's plenty of snow on the ground. That was the big fat flakes that were falling and rapidly accumulating earlier this morning. We're looking at 4 to 5 centimeters, but now it was really kind of fluffier snow, a little bit sticky. It was kind of snowball snow, but now that the freezing rain is falling on top of that, it's probably going to get very slick and a little bit treacherous, more so for pedestrians. I think a lot of this will be melting off the streets, but give yourself extra time for your commute. It's not going to be an ideal day getting around wherever you need to be. Top up with the windshield wiper fluid. A messy day expected today. We will push above the freezing mark, but the real warm-up comes by the end of the week and the weekend. Taking a break, we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's been 8 years since Logan Boulay died after injuries sustained from the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. His decision to become an organ donor kickstarted a national movement and Green Shirt Day. CTV's Quinn Keenan reports from Lethbridge.
Logan Boulay was one of 16 people killed in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash in 2018. While he officially died on April 7th, Logan's family considers the 6th to be the day he passed. They now commemorate every April 7th as a day of celebration rather than mourning.
So we use it as much as we can as a celebration. Our Green Shirt Day skate, we give plasma today. It's just a day that we go for dinner tonight to one of Logan's favorite restaurants. Just a fun, we just try to make it a celebration.
Not long before he died, Logan had signed up to become an organ donor. He was inspired by his mentor and family friend Rick Suggett, whose organs saved the lives of 6 people when he died. Logan's organs likewise helped save 6 people.
Our hope is that we can create a new culture where people talk about organ and tissue donation and it's not like a subject that's taboo or it's daunting but it becomes more of an everyday topic.
Logan's story made national headlines. Almost 150,000 Canadians became organ donors following the crash. That has since been dubbed the Logan Boulet effect. Now, Green Shirt Day is celebrated every April 7th to promote organ donation.
By being able to donate has made an impact on so many, and to want them to be registered donors and for them to have conversations. So it makes me really proud to know that he continues to have an impact on people and inspire people.
Logan's family now spends much of their time working on the Green Shirt Day cause. They're proud to see how much of an impact Logan's story continues to have even 8 years later.
So we work all the time, and we like to do that. It's something, just want to do that.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
It's now the month of April. That means spring has sprung, and that means fresh ways to win some fresh cash. We're talking about One Great Lottery, and joining me this morning to tell us all about it is Stephen Sutherland with the Canadian Mental Health Association across Manitoba. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you here.
Great to be here. Now let's talk about One Great Lottery. It's a little bit of a different type of a lottery than others. Let's talk about why. Explain it for us.
Yeah, so One Great Lottery, 53 charities, all in Manitoba. What's really great is all the money stays in Manitoba. The other part that's really great is that there's multiple opportunities to win. And so, unlike others, where the grand prize is, for that month is maybe 100,000 or 200,000, this 26 people can win throughout the month, early birds, a whole host of things, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, of how you can get the information about that.
Okay, now the other thing too, there's multiple organizations, as well as multiple ways to win. There's multiple organizations involved. You mentioned there are 53. So when you buy your ticket, you have the opportunity to direct that money to support all 53, or you can choose a charity of your choice, like the Canadian Mental Health Association across Manitoba. Let's talk about how support from the lottery helps you to provide the services that you do.
Well, our philosophy here at CMHA is that there's something for everyone, and we can't do this alone. And so we love when people choose CMHA as the charity partner. And so in terms of where that goes, it goes to some of our core services of housing, learning center, recovery college, training, again, working within the community to meet the needs of all the communities that we serve. So again, across Manitoba, so whether it's Dauphin or Winnipeg, Selkirk, or the Pas, people are supporting all of our programs across Manitoba.
That's fantastic. Now with One Great Lottery, now that it is the month of April, we have moved into the Spring Into Winnings campaign for the month. Tell me about that.
I say there's always a season for winning. And so spring, it's in bloom. We see things changing. And what we want is people's bank accounts to change. And so we're really excited, again, to partner with One Great Lottery to be that part of the charities. And so people can go to onegreatlottery.ca. Lots of early birds, lots of opportunities for people to buy tickets and to win.
Now let's break that down a little bit quickly. So we have 4 chances to win early bird prizes. That happens weekly. So the sooner you buy your ticket, the more chances you have to get in on that, right?
Yes, my mother-in-law would say, Stephen, delays are dangerous. And so we would say to people today, delays are going to be dangerous. We don't want any snow.
Well,
not going to happen.
Okay.
We're gonna
Thank you.
It is spring, and so we want people to spring right to that website, get their tickets, and support not only CMHA, but the 52 other partners that we work with every day.
So there'll be 13 people who will split those early bird prizes totaling $9,500. But of course, we have the grand prize that comes up as well. Let's quickly talk about that.
Yeah, so the grand prize of $100,000 will be split amongst 13 individuals, and all the early bird prizes are single winner prizes. So whether it's $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000, again, all that information is on the website.
Right, and I should mention that the grand prize is a minimum jackpot of $100,000. That'll be split 3 ways. Quickly, once again, Stephen, where can people go to find out all that information?
Yeah, onegreatlottery.ca, and you can head over to CMHA crossmb.ca and learn all about the great work we do for Manitobans.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Some freezing rain still coming down. Oh, look at all those big fat drops on the camera. They'll be piling up on your windshield as well, so make sure that your windshield wipers are in good working order, and then probably top up with that windshield wiper fluid as well. Expect a messy, slushy day out on the streets. 0 degrees right now, feels like -6 with a wind out of the east-southeast gusting to 34 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 96%. So you're going to get soaked if you're outside today. Hopefully not by the motorists. Please, I'm asking you because I'm going to be walking home today. Try to avoid those curb lanes. That's where all the puddles are. Also, you know what, for the motorists, those potholes, it looks like we've got big fat flakes flying out there again. When I was upstairs on the rooftop 10 minutes ago, it had changed to freezing rain. Anyway, I'm now seeing massive snowflakes out our studio window. Northern Manitoba, the most beautiful of the conditions will be experienced through your part of the province today. Plus digits, sunshine, it's going to be looking good. It's going to be feeling pretty good as well. But yes, the precipitation will continue here in the south. We're going to be seeing it off and on throughout the day with still the below seasonal temperatures. Warmer than it's been, sure, above the freezing mark, but 8 degrees, that would be normal for this time of year. Northwestern Ontario, you've still got a good walloping to come, more of what we saw a few hours back. Improvements to come as it tapers overnight. Tomorrow, just some heavier clouds, 5 degrees, and even warmer seasonal 8 degrees. We should be reaching that by Friday, and then those double digits as we're rolling into the weekend. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. Everyone has bad days, but this guy out grocery shopping has had better ones.
Are we watching the right video?
Yeah, this woman just realized her phone was on silent after sending her husband out to do some shopping. Look at all the texts. The messages are about the different kinds of eggs out there, and he doesn't know which ones.
Oh my goodness. Do we need to hold your hand? Just make an executive decision. Get them all and come home.
Each one is an H-E. Well, this kid probably thinks she's having a bad day as well.
Yep.
Lacey the goat is trying to break into the house again. Watch as she tries bashing her head against the glass door. That's why her owners put pool noodles on her horn, just to make sure she can't.
No.
Just give her a trap door.
Bad girl.
And then finally, playing fetch with a shy pup is a little like hide and seek.
Oh, and then she runs behind the corner and hides from him.
Zina the Vishla has her own way of playing fetch with her mom. First, she drops the ball at her feet, then runs and hides, peeking around the corner, waiting for the ball to be thrown again. She's sweet. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.